Low 22, and then cooler for tomorrow with a chance for 3 to 4 inches of snow from Tuesday night through Wednesday. Currently, it's 37. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, I'm Chris McLaughlin, 630 KHOW.
Want to learn more about cryptocurrency in the new year? Check out the Mark Moss Show podcast. Each week, Mark Moss, an investor, crypto expert, and host of the popular YouTube series, shares his knowledge as a true entrepreneur. Listen to the Mark Moss podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Brent Ivinson with Ideal Home Loans, and we're always looking forward in the new year, and we've got something else for you to look forward to. Increased loan amounts. That's right, you can now borrow more money whether you're buying or refinancing and still access the lowest available interest rate in the market. To find out more, call Ideal Home Loans today, 303-867-7000, or you can apply online at idealhomeloans.com. Equal Opportunity Lender, regulated by DORA, NMLS 136756. For terms and conditions, call 844-45-IDEAL.
Take a trip back to Apartment 4D with the crew from the sitcom New Girl and rewatch the series with real-life friends Zooey Deschanel, Hannah Simone, and Lamorne Morris.
We could do a whole episode dedicated to Jake Johnson and his lack of awareness around certain technological things, especially with his phone.
Listen to Welcome to Our Show on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Brought to you by DuckDuckGo. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo.
When he's not talking about it, he's tweeting about it.
Do you Twitter?
Follow the Troubleshooter at @RealTomMartino. And stay connected with all of Denver's talk station on Twitter.
Just give me your Twitter and I'll follow you.
Find us right now at 630 KHOW.
Afternoons 2 to 4.
It's Leland Conway.
This is producer Ryan Schuling, Super Shoe. From the topical to the irreverent, the serious to the sublime, where conservative and libertarian minds meet. Join us weekdays at 2 p.m. right here on 630 KHOW.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. What's going on? This hour brought to you by RealCBDThatWorks.com. That's the CBD that now has an immuno formula, and it was laboratory tested to show it does inhibit viral particles getting into the cell, viral germs. You can read more about it on the site, RealCBDThatWorks.com. And by the way, nobody's saying it's a cure or substitute for anything. It's just there to help you. And 30% off with Tom in the promo code. Now, of course, you can also just go directly to RealCBDThatWorks.com and get any product, not just that one, including cosmetics with CBD in it, which is anti-inflammatory. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome to the show. What's going on in your life? Well, if you have a problem or a question or complaint, I urge you to call us before it gets out of hand. So many people call us after they've been down the road months and months, and it's hard to help you. If someone, here are some of the biggest problems we've been handling lately. I'm going to go to our calls. Some of them have been, first of all, one of the main problems we've taken on this year. Now that's, and last year, 2021 and 2022, the new year, is the fact that many people pay money up front or money down to contractors and get nothing in return, or they get little in return. That has been a major problem. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. I also want to bring up something else that is controversial. Now,
how about sewer lines, man? We had a lot of sewer lines in the last 6 months.
You're right.
That one company going out there and showing the same video to these poor people.
Yeah, video of someone else's pipe, So anyway, drains are a big area of ripoffs because there's recommended replacement, and then there's needed replacement, and then there's total failure of a drain. And that in and of itself can be a ripoff. So drains are another area of concern. Also, we have areas of concern when it comes to cars, but these are weird lately. Cars are just so expensive for what you get, too. I mean, that's amazing. You have people paying out the nose for cars and their pieces of junk because of how short we are. So 303-713-TALK. Lee?
Yes.
What's going on with you, Lee?
Well, I needed some help on a situation that happened the end of October of last year. I took my sister to a medical appointment at the Anschutz Center at UC Health.
Got it.
In Aurora. And because she is in a wheelchair, I went to the valet parking, got stopped there, of course, and long story short, we left the car there, got her in the wheelchair, took her to her appointment. The car was stolen from the valet before it ever got parked into the parking garage.
Now, before it even got parked, so when you left it there at the curb, somebody took it.
That's correct.
Did you hand your keys? Did you hand your keys over to them, or were they sitting in the car, or did you walk away from the car?
The attendant from the valet was standing at the driver's door where I got out. He asked about the key. We told him the key was in the ignition. He stood there at the door while I went to the back of her car, got her wheelchair out, got her into the wheelchair. He was still standing there when I walked away to take her into her appointment.
Okay, now, here is what past cases have said. Okay, this is weird. They've said that if a thief stole the car, due to negligence of the company, the valet company could be responsible. If it's just stolen and normal procedures are followed, it may not be their fault. It might just be you're all a victim of crime. So, you left it at the curb. He did what? He sat in the car or walked you to the door?
He did neither. He stood at the door of the car while I got the wheelchair out of the back and pushed her into her appointment.
You pushed her into the appointment?
Correct.
And what was he doing? What was he doing, the parking attendant, while you were doing that?
Well, and see, I don't know because I didn't stand back and watch.
So you just left it. You just left it with him.
He gave me a
ticket and you left.
Text.
Okay.
That's correct.
So we don't know what he did. How do you know it was stolen right then and not back? Not after he parked it.
Well, I didn't know at the time, but after we identified this, there was a middle-aged woman that had walked up to a car in front of the hospital that we walked by, and this woman was attempting to talk to the passenger who was a woman in the car. And the next thing you know, a attendant or a medical person from the hospital came out and took that person away and set her on the bench in front of the hospital. Come to find out later, after we had gotten to valet and they identified our car was stolen through the videotape, it was that woman who apparently got into the car
and
drove it off.
Well, they must know who she is then.
They do.
Did they find the car?
Yes, they did.
Did they recover it?
Well, that's part of the problem.
Well, hold on. So, was she charged with theft?
Well, I don't know that. I know that there has been a police report. I know they did identify her.
Okay, and you got the car back. What's going on with the car?
No, we did not get the car back, and that was part of the problem.
Where's the car?
So the valet management person came to us and finally got us an Uber 3 hours later, identified.
Here's what I need to know right now. All of that behind us. Where's the car, and why don't you have it?
The car has been totaled because once it was recovered, they had identified that apparently meth had been made in the glove box.
Meth had been made in the glove box?
Uh-huh.
You mean
That's
stored in the glove box?
No,
Well,
made.
They
How,
said.
what are you
said
talking
it
about,
was
made?
cooking.
How do you get
I
in
don't know.
how do you make meth in a glove box of a car?
I have.
I don't know why
idea.
they total it for having meth in there.
Well, okay.
I'm just saying that that's what they said.
Where's the
once it
car
was
right
recovered.
now? The car's totaled, and you have insurance, right?
Well, the insurance from the valet took responsibility for the car. They said that they would cover everything that was in the car, as well as a replacement of a car. Well, since that original statement has been made, different things had happened. Long story short,
I'm asking you again, do you have insurance for theft?
She had insurance for theft.
Okay. Did you try your own insurance company?
We did not, because the responsibility of the valet service said that they would take full responsibility for the car since it was stolen at their facility.
Okay, so where do we stand right now? How long ago was this? How long ago?
The car was stolen the October the 28th. It was recovered 2 weeks later. The insurance company, through the valet service, told us all you have to do is provide us with the contents of the car, and they gave...
How much did you have in the car? $10,000 worth of stuff?
No.
What did you have? I was just kidding. What did you have in the car?
$3,700, because the biggest thing that was in the car was a portable oxygen machine that my sister is on oxygen.
Okay.
And the insurance company said, we'll replace everything. All you need to do is send us a list of what it is. So I have sent them a list. I've been working with them in November, December, and January, and now they tell me that the inside of the car contents is not covered after they said this month after month after month. So I'm trying to see if I can go back. My sister is disabled on low income. I'm trying to see if I can go back to the valet service and make them pay for a $3,500 oxygen concentrator.
Are they replacing the car, Lee?
They only gave the value of the car.
Okay, well, that's what all they are responsible for is the value of the car. What was the car?
2007 Mazda.
Okay, Mazda what?
CX-7.
Okay, all they have to give is a value of the car. How many miles were on that car?
99,000.
Okay, so when you said they'll only give the value of the car, that's all they have to give.
Okay, well.
I mean, what did you think they had to give in addition? You mean you're talking about the contents now, right?
Well, no.
What were you talking about? Why would they owe more than the car?
Well, we want them, as they said, that they would replace the stuff that was inside the car.
That's what I just asked you, Lee. When you said they will only give us the value of the car, that's okay for the car itself, but now you want more money for the stuff inside, right?
Yes.
Okay, but as far as the value of the car, you're done on that, right?
Yes.
Okay, hold on then. Hold on.
Okay.
And we'll come back to it.
It's perfect with small claims court.
Yeah, but, they really should take responsibility for the shit in the car. They really should.
Yeah, but it's probably easier to take them to small claims court. It's $3,500. It'd be a slam dunk. Do you think any judge is going to not give them a verdict for an oxygen machine?
What do you mean a verdict for what?
I mean, they go to small claims court.
Yeah, from the lady that stole the car. No, I don't think the valet.
But the valet, it was stolen right from the curb there.
They're admitting that.
That's kind of negligent. I mean, that's why they paid for the car.
Right.
ZeroResDenver.com for carpet cleaning, second to none. ZeroRes Denver, I love. They use what they call empowered water, which is an energized water, super soft, alkaline base. It's really patented, but it works. And I use it in my home, safe and effective. And they use less water. That's one of the main deals, leaving zero sticky, dirt-attracting residue. So carpets dry faster, stay clean longer. ZeroRes is the only system I trust in my home. It's safe and effective. And here's the deal. They also have a powerful scrubbing technique that gets deep into the fibers without destruction. ZeroRes will keep your carpets healthy. I use it. I urge you to use it. They also do commercial cleaning as well. You can have whole areas done or just certain sections. That's ZeroResDenver.com, 303-471-5150. Now, if you're in an accident and you're injured and you need advice, John Fuller will give free legal advice when you need it the most. John Fuller, Fuller Law. You just call him and describe the accident. He'll take the time to tell you what to do, what you can do by yourself, the chances of collecting, and all of that. Now, if it turns out you need an attorney, there's no pressure to hire him. But if you do, it's all contingency fee-based, meaning he only collects if he collects for you. Give him a call for your free legal advice, 303-597-4500. 597-4500.
What if selling your car made you as happy as flowers?
Well, at Endorse.com, it's so easy to sell your car, it actually does feel like flowers.
I think that person.
You're welcome. EchoTarp.com.
I think that person is. I can't believe the insurance company.
Well, she reports.
Well, if she hands her keys over to Valet and walks in, and they don't even get to park it because someone walks up and steals it, I think that's negligence. I don't think that's. If it was off on a lot somewhere and it got damaged or stolen, that's totally different. Whereas if they were carjacked.
How about she?
That's totally different too.
So she reports to her.
I mean, that's a violent crime. But we're talking about not paying attention, and somebody walks up, gets in the car, and just drives away. That's a camera show. Yeah. Nobody violently took it.
Tony, that notice you wanted back, does that go to Ryan?
No, me.
Oh.
I got to put it into a package for him. I got to explain it to him.
Okay, so you don't need me to fax it, then you just fax it to you.
Yeah, or email it to me.
Oh, I was going to say, can I email it to you?
Yeah, that's
PDF?
what I meant. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
She has renters or homeowners insurance. They'll cover it, and they'll submit to the valet company, right?
I don't know.
Off-premise got a new name, y'all. Butterscotch Fine.
Off-premises coverage may not cover the medical devices. I don't know.
Well, it's not your medical devices. It's just a property that should be covered under homeowners
right now. Personal property
is usually covered under
Yeah,
homeowners.
but it also excludes jewelry. It excludes certain tools. It might exclude durable medical equipment. I mean, I'm not saying it does, but it might because it may not be considered personal property, like as defined by a homeowner policy. But let's even see if she has a policy. It doesn't sound like she would.
You know, that's a good point, man. It's a class where it's not political.
Well, when I signed the lease to my
dollars
apartment,
in debt,
I had to
always has been
show them a copy of my renter's insurance policy. So usually, renters will. They won't rent the place without.
Yeah, very few of them require it.
Really?
They require liability, maybe, but not property. They can't tell you to fucking cover your own shit.
And they shoot.
No, they can say, we want you to cover us and your neighbors.
Oh, you thought they legalized car theft in Colorado? Go for it. MH. I'm with you.
MyPatriotSupply.com. Our kids give you an abundance of food.
Oh my goodness. Hellcat says at least she didn't leave her leg in the trunk. These guys are wild.
You've had a few of those where there's been prosthetics left in the car that were stolen. I've heard those ones. That's never good.
We had one, a tow truck company.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
What was stolen? The guy's leg.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, remember he left his artificial leg in the car?
Yeah.
And it was stolen?
I'm Fox 31 Pinpoint Weather Team meteorologist Kylie Weiss.
Want to learn more about cryptocurrency in the new year? Check out the Mark Moss Show podcast. Each week, Mark Moss, an investor, crypto expert, and host of the
So if anybody wants to bet on sports, just ask me and bet the opposite. I've made about 5 or 6
Did you think Kansas City was going to win?
Oh, yeah.
I did.
I did think KC.
Yeah.
I took Kansas City and I took L.A., but I gave up 12
Tom
points.
Martino here, 303-713-TALK. FrankDuranRealEstateMan.com gives free market valuations of your home. All you have to do is ask. And it's a complete valuation based on what he sees and what he has seen in 27 years. He does measurements, pictures, comparables, and really gets down to what your house will sell for. And that'll help you make choices. It's free of charge, 303-920-1622. FrankDuranRealEstateMan.com. All right, so let's talk about this. When are valets responsible? I've done some research. I can't tell you for sure, but I can tell you from past court cases, valets are responsible if they do something wrong. So what is doing something wrong? If they took the car and they parked it in their lot, their normal lot, and it's robbed or stolen or hail damage or any other thing, they're not usually responsible unless they left the door unlocked with the keys in it. Okay, but if it's at the curb and it doesn't even get to be parked and someone just goes and sits down and takes off, that's pretty negligent. But if someone walked up with a gun and said, hand over the keys and took the car, that's different. You just got to use common sense. And then personal property. In this case, if they truly were that lax, the car was just sitting at the curb, and somebody took off with it without any force, they just walked in, sat down, and took off, I think the valet was pretty sleepy. Now, I don't think it was intentional maybe, but it was stupid. Now, Lee says they're going to pay for the car, but they're not paying for the durable medical device, the oxygen in the car, worth about $4,000. Now, Lee, does your daughter who owns this oxygen, did she own it or was she leasing it?
She was, I believe she owned it. It originally came from Apria. This is my sister.
I'm sorry, your sister. Now, does your sister have homeowner's insurance?
Yes, she does.
Did she try to see if off-premises coverage would cover it? In many cases, off-premises coverage limits what they'll cover. They won't cover certain things, but they will cover others. I am not sure if this medical device would be covered under personal property. It's possible. Did you try your homeowners?
We have not tried the homeowners because we have been told since this happened that the insurance company for the valet service was going to cover everything.
No, I understand that. I understand.
Yeah.
So you didn't bother asking.
So
I get it. I get it.
That is correct.
But I'm saying that could just be one way of doing it. I want to find out from Compass Insurance if off-premises coverage would apply to medical devices in normal circumstances. Each contract is going to dictate what is covered and what is not. So it's up to the contract. But on the valet note, they said nothing inside the car would be covered. Well,
no,
I mean,
it would be.
I wouldn't take that. It does, Lee, here's one thing you got to understand. The fact that they said they would cover it and now they're not makes them a liar. It doesn't necessarily make them legally responsible. To make them legally responsible, you got to look for court precedent. You have to look for common law and, in many cases, common sense. If they were negligent in letting the car go, then I think, yeah, they're responsible for what was in it. That's what I think. I mean, it stands to reason. But on the other hand, there's some owner responsibility. For example, if your daughter had $1 million in cash in the car, would it be reasonable to expect the valet company to reimburse $1 million, or would it be reasonable to say she was not smart and negligent in leaving it there? So this is really not a black and white situation where you just can name it. You just can't name it. So what we need to do is first find out if homeowners might cover it, and then I would suggest you do a small claims court against the valet company. What would you do, Mark, if your oxygen...
I'm shocked they covered it, man. We had a homeless guy run into our shop one day. We were doing an oil change on a car, getting ready to jack it up. He ran in, jumped in the car, and took off. I turned it over to my garage keepers. They say there's no way we're covering this.
Right, that's different.
Go after the homeless dude.
That's probably right. But if you are just letting it sit there with the keys in it, and you're parking other cars, and somebody comes over, that's a little different. I don't know. I mean, it could be a little different. It could be the same depending on who looks at it. But right now, Lee, small claims court goes up to $7,500, and it might just be you might just win. But I'd like to hear from. We have a message into Compass, and we'll find out.
You'd sue the valet company or the hospital, whoever's running it. You're not talking about the insurance, so you know.
Right. You don't want to sue the insurance company. Now, Bill has an estate planning question. Go ahead, Bill. What's your question?
Thanks for taking my call, Tom.
Yes, sir, Bill.
I have a elder mom, and she owns a property. It's an investment property, and I just want to get a handle on, we have a will in place. When we take it over, our tax liability from her basis and
okay.
how much of a
how is the house being left to you in the will?
It's being kind of divided up.
I understand, but it's being done after or at the time of death, right?
That I need to confirm, Tom.
Okay, here, let me explain it to you then. It's really easy. Don't do anything stupid like a quitclaim deed before she dies, okay?
Okay.
You do not want to do that, because when you inherit a home before she dies, that home goes back to her original basis. So if she bought it for $100,000, when you sell it for anything over $100,000, it's profit. So what do you want to do? You want to inherit it at the time of death or after death, shortly after, with a trust or a beneficiary's deed. This is the benefit of a trust or a beneficiary deed. With a trust, it bypasses probate. It's automatically transferred by the trust to whoever is named in the trust. If it's a beneficiary's deed, it's automatically transferred upon death to who's ever named on the beneficiary's deed. And it's transferred at the date of death value. Time of death value. So she bought it for $100,000, but it's now worth $500,000. It is now inherited at $500,000. The heirs pay no tax on the value of any asset they inherit, including cash, unless it was tax deferred and taxes were never paid. So you don't pay tax on it. Now, if you sell it at that value, because it's valued at $500,000, so you sell it at $500,000, or you sell it at $510,000, or you sell it at $495,000, you're going to sell it for around date of death value. Therefore, there will be little or no tax. That's the benefit of a trust and a will. So there's no tax liability on you for taking the asset. There's only a tax liability for profit if you sell it.
Okay. So,
but it's always better to have a higher basis when you sell it, so you have less profit. Does that make sense?
Correct. That I understand.
Okay.
So with the beneficiary's deed, I know that we have the will in place. What is required to put together a beneficiary's deed, or an insurance trust, or just a trust?
Well, it's not an insurance trust. It's just a trust. I would say if she doesn't have a lot of stuff and all you're worried about is the house, I would do a beneficiary's deed, and an attorney can do that for you. You can call 833-ASK-BLAKE, BlakeHarrisLaw.com. He's our estate planning attorney, and he can easily do it. He does all that kind of stuff, but you can ask him questions about it. A beneficiary's deed is simply she signs over the house to whoever she wants. It could be one person, two person, three person, four persons. Now, if she signs it over to the four of you, it would be good that the four of you have a private agreement as to what you're going to do with it, so there's no arguing when it happens. But that's what I would do, and it's 833-ASK-BLAKE, BlakeHarrisLaw.com. He can do a trust if you happen to need it, or whatever you need. All right, coming back, we're going to find out what exactly is off-premises coverage for personal property and what does it cover. Coming up.
I'll work you guys in very soon. Man, I fucked up. What? I did a quitclaim deed with my mom.
Right now?
No, years and years and years ago. She passed 2 weeks ago.
Oh, shit.
I didn't know anything about that.
Oh, God almighty.
Yeah, was the quitclaim filed? Oh, yeah, it's been filed for years.
So it was your house?
Yeah. Ooh. I've refinanced it. I've done all kinds of...
Well, that's fine, but you still have...
I'm going to stuck with a nice chunk of...
You have her original basis, whatever it was.
Yeah, it wasn't much, and it's gone through the roof.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So I can't sell it. I'll just keep it as a rental.
Well, you can sell it, but you pay tax on it. Well, now, you could move in as a primary residence.
Think of all the money you've put into it.
Yeah, that adds to your basis. But still, it's going to be hard
to match present day value with the improvements. You know, you might, what did you buy it for? 190 something. And what did you put into it? At the most, 100 maybe? Tip tops, yeah. So 290, what's it worth? 390. Yeah. It's not that terrible. Yeah.
But if you move in for 2 years, you get $250,000 exemption.
I did that by mistake. Instead of the mic button, I'm getting, what do I do now? Just do it right after this? I'm so sorry. Shut up, Mark. Son of a bitch. I got to talk to Blake. I got a will and a trust for my kids and stuff, so I got to make sure it's right.
Go. Now you're getting into cat birds.
Nah, we're getting it.
But, Mark,
Colorado Pain Care, Sport and Spine. I love talking about these guys because I can tell you, honest to God, they have gotten me out of pain and kept me out of pain. Now, I've had to go back a couple times. That's how it is when you get older. But whether you're old or young, sports or arthritis or whatever it is, they have immediate treatment. They have doctorate-level physical therapy and whatever you need. A convenient location on South Colorado Boulevard, or their newest location, everything under one roof, out in Lakewood near Alameda and Union. If you mention Tom, they will give you a free stainless steel water bottle on your first visit, and you can do same-day appointments for urgent cases. 303-GOT-PAIN. 303-GOT-PAIN. Ideal Home Loans for your next ideal home loan. That is what I say because it is ideal. First of all, they're direct mortgage lenders. Let me tell you why that's important. No middlemen. They control the entire process, and you can do that by phone. You can do that by email. You can do that online. Ideal Home Loans. Also, they have pre-approvals, which are like cash deals. They put the money aside. When you go out to buy, your offer is like a cash deal because you're ready to close as soon as that house appraises. The other thing they do is credit optimization. You might be approved, but they go a step further to make your credit even better with maybe paying off a credit card you have to pay down a little or something else. And then they get you to the next credit tier. They also have pick your own term loan, which is incredible. You pick whatever term you want, still get the low rate. And of course, don't forget the interest rate guarantee. If rates go down, they refinance you free of charge. That's 303-867-7000. First they listen, then they lend at idealhomeloans.com.
Have you still not?
So, Tom, if you moved into that house for 2 years, wouldn't you get
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. I was going to say
that
point in time.
Yep.
As long as you live there for 2 years, call it your primary residence,
and you sell it, the first $250,000.
But you can't rent it during that 2 years. You got to live in it.
Remember, Steve, from Friday we were trying to get Compass on as well.
So maybe I just keep it as a rental for a while.
My coverage that he didn't maintain.
Yeah, when you get ready to go.
Okay, so I have both of those calls for Friday.
I put it right here. Are you married?
No.
Okay, but if you were married, you get a $500,000 exemption.
$250 each, basically.
Let that not be your motivation.
No, that's not my motivation. No.
Well, you get.
You know what's funny? I heard you don't have to be married to get the $500. What I mean is this: if you had a partner, a single, just a business partner, you were doing fix and flips, you each get, if you live there together, whether you're roommates, whether you're married, whether not, you each get $250. That's what I was told. But I don't.
As long as she claimed it as her official residence, if she had her mail sent there, then you're correct.
As the oldest, largest, and most respected public adjusting firm, Adjusters International stands ready to...
So you can put that in your back pocket. So in the future, when you're going to sell it, move in for 2 years, get yourself a wife for like 6 months, and you save $500,000.
They did have to be on the deed. Yeah.
Hi, it's Marty Lenz. I've got some big news from my friend, Dave Rivers, with the Ribble Group, Keller Williams Realty.
Did you file that quick claim?
Yeah, it's been 5 years in a row.
Protection program.
Well, we did it to protect it without knowing what I know now. What were you thinking it was being protected from?
Well,
she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's about a month and a half after we did the quit claim, so we didn't want it to go to probate when she had to get
that's where the buyer pays all of the commission. So to be clear,
so Medicaid can take into consideration all of those assets, right? You did a smart thing. We had to at that point. Yeah, we were under. Well, that's a totally different circumstance. Yeah, we had to because they would have taken it and segregated.
Yeah.
netting the
That's what we were trying to avoid.
Call my friend today, Gabriel, at 833.
Because there's a 5-year look back with Medicaid.
Right. 833-453-SOLE.
Yeah, that's totally different.
G-A-Y-E. GayHasTheBuyers.com. GayHasTheBuyers.com. Delco just raised their CD rates again. Details at delco.org/CD.
Everybody out there, this is Big Al for Spine One. Hurting your neck or back can feel like a serious hit to your happiness and your way of life. Getting help doesn't have to mean an endless cycle of medication and doctor visits. Spine One has helped Colorado manage back and neck pain for almost 20 years. They're specialists in minimally invasive and long-term back, neck, and joint pain. And with same-day appointments, you don't need to wait for the help. So if you're ready to get out of pain, off meds, and back on your feet, call Spine One today at 303-367-BACK. Or go online right now at spine1.com. That's spine1.com.
630 KHAL.
An iHeartRadio station.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255, the Troubleshooter Show, solving problems, answering questions, taking complaints. I want to talk to Brian Burns from Compass Insurance Group to get some information here. Brian, let's just say for argument's sake that the valet company was negligent when they they left your car puffing near the curb, okay? And you went inside, and they were too busy and distracted. Somebody walked up, sat down, and drove away. Now, the valet company in this case took responsibility for the car and are paying her the value of her car. But inside the car was some personal property, and this woman who owns the car had her oxygen machine inside the car. She has homeowner's insurance. Can you speak to what personal property is? And what does off-premises coverage cover? And does everyone have off-premises coverage if they have homeowners?
Okay, yeah. So first of all, the contents is basically anything inside the house. If you were to take a house, cut the top off of it, turn it upside down, what falls out would be contents. That'd be the personal property. Even
jewelry and stuff, right?
Yeah, now there's limited coverage for certain classes of personal property, and jewelry would be obviously one of them.
How about medical devices?
No, not necessarily. No, whenever I heard it, on hold, I was wondering if it had something to do with, medical, where it was commercial property, but that's not the case. This is her person.
Oxygen, it's an oxygen something concentrator or something, yeah.
No, she would have coverage, and her policy should cover it 100% off premises. The problem you're going to have is it's going to be subject to the home deductible, which, a lot of home insurance deductibles are pretty high. So if she's going to turn it into her policy, she's going to have to pay her deductible out of that.
So, Lee, your sister has homeowners. As part of homeowners is off-premises coverage, meaning personal property. That would be covered, but it would be subject to her deductible. Perhaps you can get the valet company to pay her deductible.
Okay.
I mean, it's one thing to try and then come back to us if they refuse to do anything, because the other alternative would be small claims court. If they're taking responsibility for the car, it's almost like, oh, did they make her sign something? Did she accept payment for the car?
Well, she accepted payment for the car. Nothing was signed as far as the contents. I've since learned I did everything verbally, where I should have had something in writing.
Yeah,
from
but it's better to have it verbally and not include personal property than have you sign something saying this is settlement for everything.
Exactly.
It's actually better that she didn't sign a disclaimer.
Okay, no, she did not.
All right, so check with your homeowners and get back to us. Now, Compass Insurance Group, home of the insurance checkup, by the way, you can call and see, do you have enough coverage? And not only do you have enough coverage, but do you have, are you paying too much too? There's all kinds of stuff, especially now with the replacement values going on. People are finding they don't have enough to rebuild. Brian and I talked about this in the very beginning. Replacement coverage just means replacement up to the dwelling amount and any riders you have on top of that, which might be 10%, 15%, 25%, or unlimited. And you have to make sure you have enough to replace your house. Let's talk now about something else. Homeowners negligence, or accused negligence. Steve is with American Family. He's not with. He has American Family on this loss. And they say, you know, Steve, we're not going to cover your water freeze and water break and water flood inside the house because you didn't maintain heat. Now, Steve says he did, but let's say he didn't. Brian, are there exclusions for homeowners' negligence in claims?
Yeah, well, specifically if the house was vacant. So if he was not living at the house, if the house was vacant, then every policy I know of after 60 days of vacancy will no longer cover water damage caused by freezing if you have not maintained the heat in the house. That's an absolute common exclusion. And the other part of that would be if someone vandalized it. The vandalism coverage goes away after 60 days of vacancy.
What do you do if you're going to be vacant that long?
You can buy a vacant policy, a policy for vacant homes.
Does that include people who go to Arizona?
Well, so a vacant home is, defined by having no property inside and that, or very limited property.
But if you're on vacation, let's say you go away 4 months a year, is it vacant or not?
They would try to make the case that if you have not had anybody in there and you haven't been living there, the expectation is you maintain heat or you turn off your water. So, yeah, you could have the problem of coverage with any company. I'm not going to say that no one would cover it if it had property inside, but I would say they would have a case for it.
Okay, now, Steve, are they claiming you were negligent? Are you there, Steve? Huh. Okay, I thought he was. But in any case, that's what they're saying. He said he kept his heat on 50.
And he wasn't living there, I'm assuming, at the time, right?
I wish I could ask him. I think he was gone or something. I'll put him on hold.
He was at his mom's house.
Go ahead, Suze. I put him on hold. He was at his mom's house taking care of her. So technically, I don't think it was abandoned, so to speak. I think his stuff was still there.
Okay. And would he be able to prove the heat just by off of his utility bills, or be able to show that there was actual
That's
heat?
the thing. Why should he have to prove how do you prove a positive? I don't know.
Right.
I mean, all they have to do is say there was no heat.
I guess.
What's that?
And I mean, I would expect that they have to prove that. They need to prove that there was no heat.
All he'd have to do is prove that there was gas usage, right?
That's right. That's right. That's what he was saying. He was saying Brian was saying, check utility bill. Is he on 4 still? Thank you. All right. So, Steve, what basis are they using to say you did not provide heat?
They're saying that I didn't maintain my heat because from the records on my heating bill.
Oh, wait, they actually saw your heating bill.
Yeah.
Well, what are they showing? No usage of gas?
Yeah, they're showing there's some little usage of gas, but then what it comes down to though, Tom, is when the pressure valve burst, the pressure valve burst, and that wasn't based on heat. That wasn't due to temperature or heating.
Who said that?
The structural engineer.
What did he say it was? Well, structural engineer, I don't know what he knows about pressure valves, but what did he say about the pressure valve? That it failed?
That it failed, and in fact, the same exact thing happened at his house.
Okay, but you got to get more than a structural engineer to talk about your pressure. I mean, he's not qualified to talk about that. You need a plumber. Hey, guys, we got plumbers in the house today. We got Nate and Christopher. Real quick, grab that mic, turn it on real quick. Somebody, that's Nate. Nate, just tell me real quick. Can a pressure valve fail from freezing, first of all?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, but it can also just fail.
It can just fail.
Get real close.
But does it ever just fail and then burst where water goes all over, or does it just fail and not operate?
It can fail in both circumstances. It can burst and flood
even
out.
without freezing.
Correct.
Okay. Huh. So how do you tell if it was failed or burst? Or frozen?
A freeze would be very evident. There would be a crack or a rupture somewhere in the valve.
Do you have the old one, Steve?
Yes, I do.
Well, okay. Is there a rupture or a split?
No.
Then where'd the water come out?
It came out from the pipe. that the pressure valve was connected to.
So the pipe split.
Did the pipe split?
No, I don't believe so. No.
Well,
they were very specific on telling us that it didn't. That the
did you have a plumber or an expert look at this and say it was not pipe freeze?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I did.
I want to talk to him, so I want to talk to your plumber. That's the next step. Thank you, Brian Burns, Compass Insurance Group. And by the way, for that insurance checkup, 303-996-9000.
It don't make no sense. Where would it come out if it failed? It was like it would out where you adjust the pressure.
Yeah, it's like where it's like built together.
Yeah.
Through the threads, something like that.
It
Because what would happen is too much pressure and it would.
It would come out where I'm looking for one too. Yeah, here it is. Here's one of them.
Yeah,
so
sometimes they have a screw top on them.
Right there. So that little outlet right there.
And typically when those fail, we don't see a catastrophic failure. We'll see them dripping.
Yeah, you see them dripping, but you could see a bunch of water go too.
But could you see?
There for
Don't they have a bell on them too sometimes?
Yeah.
Okay. That's where it would fail if it failed.
Yeah, but if it froze, exactly correct. It would have a split in it because it would expand. It's expanding.
Host of the popular YouTube series shares his knowledge as a true entrepreneur. Listen to the Mark Moss podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
John Fuller, Fuller Law will do free legal advice
when you're injured. Isn't that great? Think about that. Well, not great that you're injured, but after you're injured and you need help, you can call John Fuller and ask him, what should I do? What is it worth? How do I collect? Can you help? Do I need an attorney? All of these questions free of charge. He's not going to pressure you to sign up. But if you do hire John Fuller at Fuller Law, he'll take it from there and not charge you until he collects, and then he takes a small percentage. It's called contingency. You can find John Fuller at referralist.com, 303-597-4500. Hey, if you need help with floors, Simply Floors, Inc. gives you help in a number of ways. Better financing, better installers, better selection, a giant selection of carpeting, and they have all price ranges, plus better pricing than even some of the big boxes, and they have LVT, and of course all the hardwoods and engineered and laminates. So Simply Floors has design consultants too to help you coordinate the floors into any project. You make your own appointment at simplyfloorsinc.com. They come to you with what you're interested in, simplyfloorsinc.com. Waterpros.net, the best water softening systems, the best water filtration systems at the lowest prices anywhere. True water softening for the whole house, under $2,000. Don't be tricked by these $8,000 and $10,000 systems that don't work. And they do free water testing, water fountains at the point of use for under $1,000. Waterpros.net.
How long will this bull market last? What will the next recession look like?
Financially prepared? Visit my website now.
Is there a restaurant right out there to use?
Let me show you.
How the fuck is this guy doing water softeners for under $2,000?
Whole house, beautiful.
That's
system.
incredible.
Great systems, too.
You might need a lot.
I can't even. There's no way we can get anywhere close to that price.
Of what?
Under $2,000 for a whole house softener?
The American dream as much as Romanian immigrant Rich Florian arrived with just $300 in his pocket, started
still making money.
Now serves the entire Front Range and mountain communities. A direct stone impulse elevator designed to his customer for all countertops.
I'm a plumber, man, but if you can do it that cheap, come on in. Yeah, I want it.
Done, tear out and haul away free. Get a price on the phone.
He's a nice guy, too.
Yeah, I've heard him on the radio before. He sounds great.
TheArtOfGranite.com.
This tax filing season could be one for the record books. There are thousands of dollars worth of new tax credits on the table, and Jackson Hewitt will help make sure you get every one you deserve. Tax credits for being a parent, taking care of your
says, I love heavy metal, but somehow it's bad being in water.
Jackson Hewitt will make sure you get credit for all
it's not good to drink.
And get your biggest refund guaranteed. Learn more and find your nearest location
Denver
at
Water's going through
jacksonhewitt.com.
and replacing all the water mains. There's still lead water mains in operation in Denver, which is shocking to me, knowing what we know about it.
Well,
The season
and you know who's going to be last on the list to get their mains replaced? Yep.
Well, I don't know. You know, with all this gentrification going on, they might be pulling that lead up quick.
That's true. We do a lot of infill, new construction. You know, the stuff they're tearing them down and we're building them back up. It's crazy. I'm a Denver native, so it's crazy to see the change in the neighborhoods, man. It's completely different.
I've been here since '89.
Yep.
And it has completely flipped since I've been here.
Completely different, man.
I was like, whoa, I was kind of glad to get here when I got here. But yeah. And now I'm like, looking for the door.
What do you know about the housing market? Just anything to do with any type of housing, gentrification and all that stuff. It's weird.
Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300
You guys do water softening?
Wow, that's serious.
Just a little bit of it.
I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas.
Use promo code GEAR for 25 cents a gallon.
You guys have two different companies?
Yeah.
He's in Springs. We're here in Denver.
Your bank to PayPal or an e-gift card from Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app.
I really am a father daughter. My daughter has a something like that.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I wish she's 25. Good for her, bro.
Talk station. Online at
That's how she called my footsteps when she got her license. I was like,
that's incredible, man.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. We are trying to solve your problems, answer your questions, take your complaints, make your life a little easier. So I have two guys from the referral list drop by to say hi, Prime Plumbing and Heating. That's Nate Padilla, and he's out of the Denver metro area. And then we have Father-Daughter Plumbing and Drain. That's Chris Parker, and he's out of the Springs. Is it really father-daughter? Is your daughter a plumber? Go take that. Grab that, Meryl. Yeah.
Yes, that is correct.
What kind? Is she an apprentice, a journeyman, or what? I don't know the steps of plumbing, but is she?
She's a journeyman.
A journeyman.
Yeah, a journeywoman. I like to call her.
Then what's the next step after that?
Master.
Did she?
She's been doing it for 5 years now.
Did you get her into it?
Well, she wanted to be a school teacher.
And you said, wait a minute, let's make real money.
Now she had her own little class at a daycare center, and the kids drove her nuts. And then she came and said, can I try plumbing? I looked at her and said, are you sure you want to try it? And she said, yes. And then she excelled at it. She's very good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Father-daughter plumbing. How cool is that?
I think it's pretty cool. I get to work with my kiddo, so I like it.
Wow, that is cool. And she just took to it. And is she eventually going to be a master plumber?
Yes, that is her.
And you are a master?
I am a master, yes, sir.
Okay, cool. How long have you been doing it?
20 years.
All right, so on that pressure valve that the guy said just failed, but it didn't freeze. If a pressure valve just fails, there's parts of a pressure valve that would fail, right?
That is correct. Like the housing assembly, water might come out of there, but I don't believe.
But it never just, well, not never, but usually you see signs of leakage first.
Yes. Yes, and then also spikes of pressure in your house might happen. Therefore, your TMP on your water heater might leak a little bit.
Okay, so, and that's your pressure relief valve on the water heater.
Correct.
Just telling you have too much pressure in the house. So, if he said nothing came out of the water pressure, it's of the pressure relief valve itself, well, then that tells me it didn't fail. What about you?
Yeah, it doesn't fail. It said the pipe had a hole or something in it.
He said the pipe, the water came out where the pipe meets it. Well, that to me sounds like it's froze. I don't know. I think he doesn't have a good case here, by the way. And then they also checked his gas bills. I'm Tom Martino. We have another 3 hours to go. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Call in.
Take it to Apartment 4D. With the crew from the sitcom New Girl. And rewatch the series with Phil and Friends, Zoe
Yeah, we'd have to send a picture and then we can probably tell you.
Well, he said he still has the valve. If you could get him to send a picture of the valve and everything, he could figure that out pretty quick.
Especially with his phone. Listen to Welcome to Our Show on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Brought to you by DuckDuckGo. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo.
It all sounds to me though like I'll throw some pipe because I don't believe that thing
He
would
said the
leak.
pipe, the pipe failed. The pipe
Yeah.
failed. And they're probably not going to cover it.
Dr. Allen with Restore Osteo Colorado. At RestoreOsteo.com, discover our unique Healthy Knee protocol, an alternative approach to improving knee health. Request an appointment at any of our 5 convenient locations in Golden, Aurora, Fulton, Colorado Springs, and now Littleton. Begin your healthy mobility and healthy living journey today by visiting RestoreOsteo.com. That's RestoreOsteo.com.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
KHOW Denver, an iHeartRadio station. Available everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts. All in one.
ABC News unfilled lip-off. The United Nations Security Council meeting to discuss Russia's troop buildup on its border with Ukraine. U.S. Ambassador
I wanted her to come, but she was
The situation we're facing in Europe is urgent and dangerous.
The FDA
So when you tell her how much fun you had next time, she'll
yeah, she was super nervous. How was she?
Is she a co-owner with you?
No, not yet. But someday she's going to read the whole. Yeah.
That's where my kids are at too. My son's head off to the Navy. And awesome. So I said, when you get back, if you want, you talk. I'm not going to give you anything.
The ATF says it's investigating. Some schools targeted include Bowie State, Howard, and Bethune-Cookman. Several schools have canceled classes. Music star and fashion mogul Rihanna announced that she is expecting her first child with rapper A$AP Rocky. This is ABC News. The White House is condemning the latest missile launches by North Korea. Pyongyang firing off an intermediate-range ballistic missile Sunday, the most powerful since 2017, and a potential threat to U.S. troops from South Korea to Guam. Canada's Prime Minister has COVID-19. Justin Trudeau tweeted he tested positive this morning and will continue to work remotely. This as truckers in the Canadian capital demonstrated against the coronavirus vaccine over the weekend.
Cheers and a symphony of truck horns blaring across downtown Ottawa.
That pussy left too. Did you see that?
What's that, Mark?
That fucking pussy prime minister they have.
Pardon me, Chris, do you venture to Salida? We have somebody who needs someone in Salida.
No, that's a little too far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know anyone who does that you'd recommend?
No, not that has a company. No.
Okay.
Folks from Denver to Chicago are bracing for another winter.
They better get it done. That's when my son's getting married.
What's that?
That's where Eric is getting married in Salida. In the summertime, he's going to get married.
By the Arkansas River?
I don't know. They have a place that they rented for the wedding. I just write the checks. Which you will know because you have a daughter.
Yeah.
You better start saving up.
Yeah, I used to say stuff like, "Yeah, your son gets an old Volkswagen, but
That
you
is
must
cool.
buy your daughter a Mercedes."
It is cool. Thank you.
I'll tell you, my son, when he went to college, he majored in ABM. Anything but medicine. Because he saw how hard I worked. And he said, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. It's a hell of a career path. How much schooling did you have, Doc?
It took me 7.5 years to graduate from undergraduate because I was a fuck up. Then I went back and
You heard him say it was.
It was, yeah. Not anymore.
that was from college.
Yeah.
And then 4 years of medical school and 5 years of residency.
Suddenly. That is a long time.
And I didn't start till I was 31.
Oh,
so,
whoa! Now that's the piece right
well,
there.
because I was fucking around for a long time, and then I decided when I was 27 that I wanted to go to medical school.
Right.
So I was working full time. I took all these courses at night, and then I applied to medical school when I was 31 and got in. So then it was 4 years of medical school, 4 years of residency, and 1 year of a fellowship. So that took me until I was 40 before I started earning any money.
Jesus. And then did you have a bunch of loans and shit to pay back?
Yeah, but when I went to medical schools back in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
So
it was like $8.
Well,
the whole thing was what, less than a year that the kids pay now?
The first year was 5,000, the second year was 5,500, and the last 2 years was 6,000.
Exactly. I mean, I was.
I knew car back in those days was like 3,500.
That's true. I remember my father bought the first new car that I remember him buying was a 1957 Plymouth, and it cost him $2,200.
That's incredible. You can't buy a new car under 40 grand now.
Okay, so he bet all his Bitcoin on the Super Bowl.
So when I applied to medical school, they said, wait a second, it took you 7.5 years to graduate from college.
Yeah.
And then when I took the courses at night, I got straight A's in everything. And the MCATs, which is, the test you take, I got 98 percentile.
Holy
so
shit.
Wait a second, this can't be the same person. I said, well, I was 15 when I started college. I was really young. I had no direction. I was just an immature kid.
Yeah.
Get your free drink when you
had serious course correction.
Yeah.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Affected by the wildfire? Learn how to avoid common mistakes when dealing with your insurance company. Attend Adjusters International's free webinar series, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6:30 p.m.
How would I track down a life insurance provider? My mom had a family life, and I can't find these people.
Optimize your insurance.
You don't know who the company was?
No.
Followed by Q&A. Visit us.
There's really no way.
Well, why don't you call up?
I've got a policy number.
Call up Compass Insurance. And see if they have any ideas. They're pretty good at that. Just tell them that you're a sponsor of the show.
Okay.
And ask for Brian, and just ask him if there's any way to track it down.
Okay.
Who should be able to tell you that?
Cool.
1% APY on a 24-month CD. To get that higher rate, you typically need to be in a longer term. Stop by any Belco branch, call 1-800-BELCO-1, or visit belco.org/CD to open a CD online in minutes. Belco membership is required. Conditions and restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA. Belco, banking for everyone.
It's the Dan Capla Show. Afternoons 4 to 6. Monday to 4 with Denver finally ready to drop its mask mandate. Will the children finally be freed from these abusive and useless masks? And are these petty tyrants, these ultra-COVID tyrants, about to start falling one by one? Join me at 4.
Bad news. I can't.
It's the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This hour brought to you by Renew Home Innovations for beautiful bathrooms, especially showers. And they do tubs. They do tub-shower combinations. I like to call them shubs now. And by the way, these big, beautiful rectangle showers, I call them rectangle. They take the place of that big tub shower area, and they don't have any thresholds, so you can walk right in, especially elderly or those infirmed with walkers or wheelchairs can go right in. They can customize them to any shape, size you want, and they can start your project immediately with no supply chain problems there. They've planned ahead with better financing and beautiful American Standard fixtures. 303-904-2000. Special pricing for seniors and for veterans and active military. 303-904-2000. RenewHomeInnovations.com. Hey, we're here right now to discuss your life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and anything that might get you in trouble, or if we can help you, let's help you. Now, let's talk to Janet. Janet, hi. How are you, Janet?
I'm fine, thank you.
What's going on?
We have our home paid for, and we want to get some concrete work done. And I just want to know what's the best way to get funds.
Okay.
To get some of that work done.
Have you ever tried just a simple equity line of credit, home equity line of credit?
No.
Okay. A home equity line of credit is simply, in your case, it would be a first because you don't have a first. And it would simply be a line of credit. And it costs something to get a line of credit. just an appraisal and different things. And then once you have it, you only pay interest on what you use. That's one option. Another one would be the liquid loan. The liquid loan is something that Affordable Interest Mortgage does, one of my sponsors. And what a liquid loan is, so you don't have a loan. So let's say you go and take out the liquid loan on your house. What's your house worth, Janet?
Oh, I don't know. It's in Parker. It's probably...
Roughly. What are they selling for like yours?
Probably $700,000.
Okay, so let's just say 700. Okay, let's say your house is worth 700. You can get about 500 to 5 to 600, somewhere in there, in a liquid loan. Now, that doesn't mean you have to take the loan out. Mark, in a case like this where a house is paid for, they have to pay for the loan itself, right? The appraisal and all that. But they don't pay anything on that loan unless they take money out, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So you would have, let's just say, $500,000 sitting there in a line of credit. Here's the good part of that. If you want to use, and it's a 30-year line of credit. So if you want to use it to do any work around the house, take a vacation or do anything, and obviously, all the caveats are there. Don't take money. I don't believe you should use equity and squander it, but that's just, I'm not talking to a child here. I'm talking to an adult. So your house is paid for. You have a line of credit for 30 years. You pull out, how much will the concrete cost, Janet?
Probably about anywhere from $14,000 to $17,000.
All right, let's say with miscellaneous stuff, let's say you want to go $25,000 with home improvements. You can take an immediate draw on that line of credit of whatever you need. Don't take it all at once. Take like the concrete bill due, pay it. Something else comes due, pay it. So now let's say you have a total of $25,000 out on that line of credit. You pay simple interest on that. It's not an amortized payment like a mortgage. So you can pay simple interest only on that. But here's another good part. Do you have any savings?
Some.
If you have savings or checking, and you keep it with the same bank that does the liquid loan, every dime you have in the bank will count against the interest. Meaning this, if you had $1,000 in the bank, you would owe $1,000 less on that line of credit. But that $1,000 is still liquid to you. It's really a great option for people who need money available. And then you can pay it down as quickly as you want or as slowly as you want.
What's your income?
We just recently retired.
Well, I mean, still, but what's your monthly income?
Probably, let's see.
Right around 9,000.
Yeah, about 9,000.
Yeah, okay. So they'll still look at your income and qualify you on that loan on what you can actually pay back as if the entire amount was out.
Yeah, of course.
So it probably would be around $500,000, depending on the value of the house. And you also have to have somewhat decent credit for that loan.
Yeah, but once you get it, and let's say you do this project and you get it over with, you don't pay any money on this loan to keep it alive. So let's say 2 years from now you need something else. It'll be there at your disposal as you want to use it. You only pay simple interest for the amount of money you have out for as long as you have it out. And Affordable Interest Mortgage, he's a good guy. You just talk to him about it. He also has, by the way, a fix-up loan as well. But I don't recommend that in your case because you're not buying the house needing fixing up. The fix-up loan is great for people who want to buy a house and build money into the loan to fix it up so they have one payment. And they appraise the house as if the improvements are already done. That's the fix-up loan. But anyway, Affordable Interest Mortgage, if you want to take it down, it's Kurt over there.
Hey, one more thing, Tom.
I'll give you the number in a second here.
Janet,
okay?
Make sure you call us or use referral lists. We have so many rip-offs with concrete and home improvements.
Yeah, and make sure you get good people and don't pay a lot of money up front for nothing.
Right. Call us or use the referral list, please.
720. Now, Affordable Interest Mortgage. It's aimortgage.net. 720 895-0500, 720-895-0500.
And real quick,
0500.
To give you an idea, with that loan, as of the terms right now, if you took $100,000 out to do whatever to the house, you would only be paying $463 a month for that $100,000
on interest only, right,
Yeah,
Mark?
and that's if you didn't offset it with other dollars.
Yeah, 303-713-TALK. Let's talk to Todd. Todd, what's going on with you, Todd?
Hello.
Hi, Todd.
Hey, I got a question. Now, we bought our house 20 years ago. We didn't do a realtor. We just bought it from a developer. And I was wondering, how do we find a good realtor? We're looking at selling.
You know, if it's in the Denver metro area, I'd go Frank Duran, therealestateman.com.
Hands down.
Bar none.
Fort Collins.
If it's in Fort Collins, I don't think Frank goes to Fort Collins, but he might have recommendations. I don't know, Mark. Do we know people in Fort Collins on the referral list?
Frank knows someone.
I'll bet you Frank knows people because, like, in the Springs, we know Stephanie Thomas, StephanieRE.com. Isn't it StephanieRE.com? I think, yeah. So, but up north, in fact, if you can get Frank, Suze, he might have a recommendation right now. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Well, we talked to Christopher Parker, father-daughter plumbing down in Colorado Springs. He started his daughter in plumbing about 5 years ago. That's cool. Nate, you have any family working with you in the plumbing biz?
Yeah, we're a family-owned business.
Are you?
Yeah.
Did you get started from family, or did you start it?
No, I started it myself back in 2012.
Why'd you start it?
Well, I had worked for lots and lots of plumbing contractors here in the Denver area.
Wanted to do your own thing?
Wanted to do my own thing, wanted to kind of set myself apart.
What's the number one call you get? I'm just always interested in that.
Our number one call, it varies, but I would say probably just a simple leak calls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leak.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we talked water pressure. Is water pressure a problem or not? I mean, are pressure valves pretty dependable?
Pressure valves are pretty dependable, depending on where you're at. So pressures vary widely throughout the metro area, depending on Denver Water's one service provider. There's I forgot the name of the one up in Golden.
But are they usually, is Denver like Denver Water usually high or low, or?
It runs about 65, 70 PSI.
Is it always higher than you need in your house, in other words?
No, not always. Sometimes we see it lower.
How do you step it up?
There's one way, and it's a booster pump.
So sometimes you have to boost your pressure.
Sometimes you do, yeah.
But that's rare, or is that more?
That's pretty rare. We see it in high-rises quite a bit. The people on the top floors don't get great water pressure.
And can you boost an individual condo or something in a high-rise?
It just depends on the piping setup. If they have their own main lines ran into that condo, you can.
All right, 303-713-8255.
Hey, is it pretty easy if my shower is in this? Do most of them have restrictors before you reach the shower head? It's in an apartment.
It's inside the cartridge, yeah.
So just take off the shower head and take it out?
You can take the shower head off and remove that restrictor. It might get a little gunky on your shower head itself, but it just depends.
Yeah. Do you have an older house or a newer house?
Because it's probably 20 years old.
Sometimes I can cause water here.
Yeah,
It's like when your pipes
I lived in 136 in Colorado.
That shower valve you should have.
Oh, okay.
Take that out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Water has more pressure than water.
Okay, so that happens. Okay.
What do you want in auto repair?
I'll tell you what, whatever you want, Sheridan Auto Tech has it. First of all, they have longevity. A lot of people want a place in business for a long time, more than 20 years. Honesty, of course. I mean, you don't want to be sold a bill of goods. You want stuff you need. Experience is a must. You know, longevity and experience isn't the same thing, even though he's been around a long time. He does have experience, meaning all different kinds of jobs have gone through that shop. Knowledge, of course, goes with experience, convenience, and value. SheridanAutotech.com, especially maintenance of all kinds, repairs, large and small, and electrical issues, a special electrical department in Colfax, on Lakewood, on Colfax in Lakewood, and on Havana in Aurora. 303-455-7242. 455-7242, SheridanAutotech.com.
You know, it is so important to have someone on your side when you're dealing with your homeowners, especially if you've been affected by these Boulder County fires. The insurance adjuster, quite frankly, is not your friend. They're there to screw you. They're there to pay you the least amount of money they possibly can. You can send your information over to Matt with Paragon Services. He's a public adjuster. He will look at it for free, tell you if it's a fair offer, and if not, he's going to tell you what he can do for you. It is well worth it. 719-726-0020. Don't let these guys take advantage of you. 719-726-0020.
All right. I love Rocky Mountain IV because they come to you. Rocky Mountain IV Medics.com. IV therapy is one of the most common therapies for almost anything. If you're in shock, if you have the flu, if you have COVID, if you are deficient, dehydrated, vitamin deficiencies, whatever. Even people in comas get IVs. Here's the bottom line. You can get IVs in your home for the same price as going to an IV bar. Why would you go anywhere when you can get it at home or in your office? I get one every month from these guys. You can text or call for same-day appointments, 720-987-2155, 720-987-2155.
Joe O'Dea, an outsider, not a career politician. Joe O'Dea, a conservative running for U.S. Senate. Joe was adopted and raised by a Denver police officer. He became a union carpenter and started a construction company as a young man. That construction company employs hundreds of Coloradans today. Now Joe O'Dea is running for U.S. Senate to be a voice for working people, to attack inflation, cut the waste, fund our military, police, and America's infrastructure. Joe O'Dea is endorsed by Colorado's largest organization of police officers. Listen to what Joe has to say.
You know why Washington is so disconnected? It's run by too many people who have never had to work a hard day in their life.
Yeah.
So when people say, "Why are you running, Joe?" I'm running to be a voice for the working people of this country. I am one of you, and I will fight for you.
Joe O'Dea, conservative, outsider, a voice for working Americans.
I'm Joe O'Dea, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Joe O'Dea for U.S. Senate.
What's your financial IQ? Want to get smarter, get out of debt, have a secure retirement income for life? Get smart with your money. Listen to Smart Money Moves, Saturday afternoons at 2, here on KHOW. It could be the best decision you make all year.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents.
And Doug.
Don't you just love the smell of old books? Shh, this is the library. Sorry, ma'am. We're looking for a book titled Liberty Mutual Customizes Your Car Insurance So You Only Pay for What You Need.
I don't think we carry that, but check nonfiction.
He really does devour literature.
Please leave.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Watching TaxSlayer calculate your refund feels like climbing to the apex of a roller coaster.
Here we go!
And flying down the track. At maximum refund speed. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Take a trip back to Apartment 4D with the crew from the sitcom New Girl and rewatch the series with real-life friends Zooey Deschanel, Hannah Simone, and Lamorne Morris.
We could do a whole episode dedicated to Jake Johnson and his lack of awareness around certain technological things, especially with his phone.
Listen to Welcome to Our Show on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Brought to you by DuckDuckGo. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo.
This report is sponsored by Walgreens.
One more mild day. Temperatures in the upper 50s. We'll start off with sunshine. More clouds moving in this afternoon with gusty winds, a high wind warning in our foothills. I'm Box 31 Pinpoint Weather Team meteorologist Kylie Burse.
Walgreens now offers pharmacy chat 24/7, so you can ask an expert about things like the correct dose of your medication. Side effects include feeling very reassured. Pharmacy chat, online or on the Walgreens app.
Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Pardon me, you guys. I didn't mean to leave you.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Genesis Total Exteriors will put all of your storm damage of any kind, windstorms or rain or hail, on one invoice if you've been having any damage. Or, of course, they do home improvements inside and out. They're wonderful people and can deal with any of that for you. They can do basements, finishes. They can do kitchens, baths. They can also do outside. Anything outside, all on one invoice. A lot of people, even with smoke and fire damage, can use them. And they work with your insurance. And you have one source, GenesisTotalExteriors.com, 303-679-8509, 679-8509. All right, Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. We were asking for recommendation for real estate people up north. And you know what? It was like hitting me upside the head with a brick, because I think you're going to recommend somebody I should have remembered right away.
Hey, Tom, it's good to hear from you. I tell you, I've got some great people, wonderful people. In fact, we just double-teamed the deal because I was selling the home in Commerce City, and they helped those same people buy a home up there in Fort Collins. And that's Josh and Carly Robertson with Ideal Team Homes. They're also on the referral list.
You know what? I should have remembered them. Josh and Carly Robinson. And it's on the referral list. You're right. I don't know why I didn't remember them. Because she's a daughter. She's a daughter of my lifelong friend. Literally, a lifelong friend that followed me all over the country. We went from upstate New York to Florida to Colorado together. And
Tom, they're wonderful people. We've done a lot of referrals back and forth the last couple of years. Josh did something on a personal note. Maybe I could talk to you about sometime off air that was very impressive, very special what he did, and I could just tell they're good-hearted people and they take good care of their clients.
Okay, so we got to get the contact information right offhand. I don't have it. Do you have it?
I sure do. So let's see.
I want to bring up Todd. Make sure he can hear you, Todd. These people are great, man. I should have remembered them. They're good people.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, the number, Todd, it's 720-530-9788, and you would ask for Josh or Carly Robertson.
Yeah.
Got it.
Husband and wife team. Yeah, good people. I'm looking at them right now on my referral list. They get all top reviews, so that's a wonderful thing.
I'll give them a call today.
Thanks for reminding me, and give us feedback, okay, Todd? Thank you. And Frank, thanks for reminding me, man, of all that stuff. Since last we spoke, I just want to know, Frank, is inventory still, pretty low?
Well, Tom, I'll tell you this, buddy. We have 29 offers this morning we're dealing with. We're negotiating through, so yeah, it's pretty low, and we're getting a high demand on these listings for sure.
Thank you very much. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Ricky, what's going on, Ricky?
Hi, Tom. How you doing?
Good, man. What's going on?
Hey, just a question. My boy was going to work this morning. He goes in at 5, and he was going down Colfax eastbound, going to get on the off-ramp to go to the highway. And if you make that off-ramp, when you get under the bridge, it goes area to the highway, and then there's the lights that you got to stop to let you on the highway.
Yeah.
He caught a pothole this morning. He drives a little Dodge Dart, and it broke his rim, cut his tire. Lucky he didn't hit the wall, so he called me. I told him I was at work, told him to call 311. He called them, the Department of Transportation. They told him that they can't do anything about it because it was on his.
Here's the deal, Ricky. Here's the deal.
They don't do anything on it.
Here's the deal. They are responsible if they're negligent. It's almost impossible to prove negligence against a municipality.
Yeah.
All they have to show is that they have a regular schedule for patrolling and reporting potholes and fixing potholes. Almost no one, I mean seriously, almost no one is responsible for that. Now, you have to file notice if you plan on going after them for it. You have to give them 180 days notice, okay? And you have to put down the name of the victim, the damages, where it happened, and a statement of and then you literally send it to the mayor's office on Bannock. That's required. So if you're thinking about doing anything in the future, you have to give them 180 days notice that you're seeking damages.
Well, yeah, because they blew the tires 200 and some, or rims 400 and some. He's going to be on the donut. But the reason I was asking, because I know if it was city street, they would be able to work with you. But since it's state, the guy told my boy that the only thing he could do is
hold on. Even the city, the city's just as difficult. They're all difficult. Don't let them lie to you and say, well, if it or don't be led to believe if it was the city they would work with you. But now that it's the state, they won't. No municipality steps up to take responsibility readily, ever. ever, including municipalities like transportation districts, like RTD or any of them. They don't take responsibility. You have to fight tooth and nail, and you have to prove negligence. Now, negligence would have to be gross negligence, like they knew it was there, they got several reports it was there, they refused to do anything about it, blah, 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 blah. It's
You're
almost
sugarcoating it. There is no way this guy's getting money for a rim or a tire.
But I didn't sugarcoat it.
No,
I said,
this guy,
man, it's hard.
There's a chance. There's no chance.
Yeah, I would say probably there have been people paid, but I'll bet you there's a 99% chance against it. How do you prove they were negligent? How would you prove they were negligent, Ricky?
You can't.
And by the way, we kind of want it that way, Ricky, even though in your son's case it sucks. The reason for that, I don't think we'd be able to afford our taxes. I mean, think about that. If municipalities could be sued for everything that goes on in a city for all those things, oh my goodness. I mean, it's crazy, just crazy.
His own insurance would cover it.
They should. That's right. Hold on, man.
When you pay your license plate fees, it also says on there road and bridge repair. So can you just put out the word that there's a pothole in that area and people got to watch it because we're not the only ones that did it. Okay, Tom?
But here's I want to ask you something. Do you have insurance that would cover that?
Rick said that they wouldn't cover it. Oh, I don't know if insurance would cover it.
I don't know. They might. They might. I mean, why wouldn't they cover it? It's damage. Of course they would cover it. Depends on if you have the coverage.
It's like hitting a curb. They cover it. Why wouldn't they cover it?
Right. 303-713-TALK. Do you know there's a self-washing bed sheet? What? I don't know how they self-wash. It says here, these sheets are the world's first self-cleaning, hygienic, luxury sheets. These sheets are able to fight bacteria, regulate temperature, and prevent growth of older generating bacteria. Well, they haven't met a kid going through puberty then. It's natural bacteria fighting silver is the key to providing a cool, comfortable, healthy night's sleep. Miracle sheets are going to be I don't know, self-cleaning sheets. Okay, we got more coming right up. We'll do a follow-up, a very interesting follow-up you're going to find hard to believe, where somebody got
self-cleaning sheets must wait till a sweaty bed night.
I'm trying to tell you. That's a good one.
Are these miracle sheets from that guy? I gotta see that. That does the pillow.
Oh, is that who did it?
It might be.
Is sponsored by Wendy's new hot and crispy fries.
Lindell.
Yeah, we got a lot of trouble, hasn't he?
Yeah. Has he?
He's been getting a lot of pushback.
Yeah.
He's been getting sick. Yeah.
Between I-70 and I-25, again, those delay speeds are excellent.
He's been spending a lot of money.
The website on
Burning money.
Yeah. I want to see how much they are. Check availability. Can't check availability.
Means they haven't actually produced.
Buy it now, but no fucking price. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Where's the price?
Self-cleaning bed sheets, man. I'd see those
$129.
Yeah, I've never cleaned it.
I'm sorry.
They started out light.
Right now at Wendy's, see why everyone's raving about their brand new fries. Natural cut.
I bought some of those bowling. I don't know if it's him. I just thought it
was. Crispy, or they'll replace them. You know, the way fries should be. Try Wendy's guaranteed hot and crispy fries today at participating U.S. Wendy's.
Trade in, trade up, trade down, whatever your needs are. This
I have all these.
Get you the best offer, hands down.
What do I have coming up?
Now, then anytime in the past. Ideal and Art. I-25 in Santa Fe, and they have the best appraisals in town. Get more info at thesharpestrides.com.
IdealHomeLoans.com for your next ideal home loan. First
they listen, then they lend. That's why we call them ideal. Well, what would they listen for? Maybe a need for cash to pay down some bills, and they can do that. You can get a cash out, still low interest. And then you have the interest rate guarantee. That means they refinance you free of charge if rates go down, so you'll never miss the interest rate drop. So please do that. Get it done while rates are still low. Your rate will only go down, not up. The other thing you can do, of course, is pre-approval. You notice I didn't say qualify. It's an approval. It's done. The money's set aside. Plus, they have pick your own term loan. You don't have to have a 15 or 30. Ideal Home Loans for your next ideal home loan. 303-867-7000. People I know and trust, and you can too. IdealHomeLoans.com, 303-867-7000. And speaking of knowing and trusting, and I swear to you, I would never promote people I did not know and trust. TheArtOfGranite.com. Mitch Floria dedicates himself to perfection. I'm telling you that. He'll tear out and haul away free. He'll do the bathroom vanity free when you do the kitchen. He charges wholesale on all countertop material, which includes any stone or any man-made surface. And he is going to give you a price on the phone, so give him a call, 303-386-5919. 303-386-5919.
So the car market's come down. You need to sell your car before the end.
If you want to sell it for this crazy high money. Give me the VIN.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. Give me the VIN.com. So easy you can do it and you're underwear.
Is your retirement plan where it should be? Denver's Dollars and Cents radio show with Troy and Lori Hampshire of Hampshire Wealth Management can help make sure it is. Be sure to listen Saturday mornings at 6 on 630 KHOW, Denver's talk station.
It's replacement window season. If your windows are drafty, difficult to operate, or costing you money on your energy bill, it's time to replace them. Champion Windows is here to help. Right now, Champion is offering buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Champion builds their own windows right here in the USA, so there's no middleman markups and no bigger savings on better windows. We make the process easy. We help you choose the best design options for your home. We then built your project in our very own factory. Our install team manages your project every step of the way, and it's all backed by our lifetime guarantee. Turn your house into your dream home with more livable space and a new Champion sunroom, or enhance your curb appeal with new siding. Now 30% off. Don't wait. This sale won't last long. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and 30% off sunroofs and siding, plus 60 months low-interest financing options. Visit ChampionSaveNow.com to schedule a free in-home estimate today. All discounts apply to our regular prices. Select styles apply. Minimum purchase required. Subject to qualifying credit approval. Cannot be combined with other advertised offers. See store or website for details.
Michael Brown here for American Financing. You know, we talk a lot about the economy, and you and I both know that we're facing uncertain times. But in the meantime, you might be sitting on a lot of equity in your home. I think it's time you talk to some of my personal friends at American Financing. They don't work on commission, and because they know I'm sending you to see them, they're going to work extra hard to find a mortgage, home equity loan, or equity cash-out that's best suiting your financial needs. And they certainly are going to charge you any upfront or hidden fees. You can call them, tell them that I sent you, and I promise you'll get fantastic customer service and a personalized loan program that will prepare you for these uncertain economic conditions. So call American Financing and tell them you want to talk to one of Michael Brown's friends. They'll take good care of you, I promise. 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000 or online, AmericanFinancing.net.
NMLS 182334, regulated by the Division of Real Estate. You've worked your whole career to reach the top of the mountain, but now that you're thinking about retirement, who will help guide you back down the trail? Listen to the Retirement Summit with Summit Wealth Strategies to learn how to prepare. Saturdays at noon on 630 KHOW.
I should have had done right to it. Don't be that person who says it's after working. Hi folks, Dan Cicchini, owner of Done Right Kitchens and Baths, Windows and Doors. Simply put, we make people happy by being particular, just like you. 800-362-8370.
Facing a job loss? Considering a pension buyout, a severance package, or what to do with your 401k? Hi, I'm Linda Gardner, host of Your Money, Your Retirement, and I can help. 720-488-8604. That's 720-488-8604.
630 KHOW, an iHeart radio station.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-13-TALK, 303-713-8255. Let's talk about problems, questions, and complaints if you have any. And it's important that we do follow-ups as well on stuff that we've handled. And I want to get to this one first before you talk about the solution. Who was it? Let me look up the call.
Beverly.
And Beverly called when? How long ago was that?
Quite a while ago. She had...
Yeah, go ahead.
She had some dentures done.
And she said...
They never fit right.
They never fit right, and she was having a problem. Wasn't it done with Perfect Teeth? One of the Perfect Teeth.
Comfort Dental.
Comfort Dental. I want to make sure... Okay, I'm sorry, Comfort. And we got to make sure Comfort was they're all individually owned and operated. I want to make that clear. So, what happened?
Well, this is the one on Warden 64th. Apparently they moved, but at any rate, she was not having any...
what was her main claim?
Well, that the dentures never fit right, that she couldn't use them, and they were basically worthless.
Did she ever go somewhere else to have them?
Yeah, she got a second opinion, and the dentist said the same thing. So I fired off an email to them explaining what was going on and that they were responsible for this. And I told, not at the same time, I told Beverly to go down there and get a copy of her records so that I could review them, or have a dentist I know review them. And when she went down on last Thursday, they refunded all of her money, which was between $3,000 and $4,000.
That's wonderful.
So let's add that to
what
total.
Did they have any explanation, or just gave? I mean, that's wonderful that they gave the money back.
They just gave the money back.
Wow, that's great. Wow. So you know what I have to do, right, Shannon?
I think that deserves a dinger.
I got to go find my dinger. I should keep it out at all times, so I can use it on a moment's notice. But you know, I don't know. But as you get older, you don't want to do that. But I'm gonna Hey, that's anemic. That's not mine. Pathetic. That's anemic. That's
pathetic, Shannon.
Here, let me get you the right one.
I like the applause, Tom. That's even better.
I got the right one. Here it is. Hold on. That's the new one. Okay. Thank you. Jeez.
I'll lock up the junior dinger.
The other dinger I used to have was here. That's kind of like, I don't know. In any case, the dinger should be activated when you get money back. Are you working on anything else seriously now, John? I mean, Doc? I
got a bunch of stuff I'm working on, and hopefully by tomorrow I'll finish it off.
303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Listen, there's a controversy surrounding plumbing that I want to talk about, and I don't want to put anybody on the spot. We have 2 plumbers from the referral list in here, and I don't believe, by the way, any individual plumber, including the one we're going to talk about that installed this system, I don't think they're bad people. I think they're misled. I just think they're misled. Blue Sky Plumbing, this is important. That's why I keep bringing it up. Now, they did come through on some of this, so I don't want to exaggerate how good or bad they are, but here's the point. Listen carefully. Blue Sky Plumbing installed a boiler and water heater. You know, the boiler that has a water heater, kind of like a sidearm or sidecar, whatever you want to call it. So that that system was installed and failed pretty quickly. That one of the tank cracked on the water heater, and there's some not scale buildup, but it just cracked. Now our water tester and our water pro, he went out there. He said, that's Paul the Waterman, waterpros.net. He said that the water is he tested the water. He said it's too hard for the boiler and for the water heater. Manufacturers put out specs on what boilers can take with hardness. And technically, if it's too hard, you can't install the boiler without first softening or treating the water. Now, here's where the controversy comes in. Blue Sky Plumbing put in a Halo, they call it a Halo Soft Freeze Softener. It doesn't soften water. We can prove that with hardness tests. We go before the Halo and we go after the Halo. And it absolutely is the same hardness. There's no difference. That's a scientific state-approved test. The hardness has not changed. So how does Halo do this? Halo says, well, it doesn't really remove the solids. It suspends them with an ionic exchange. And that suspension keeps it from doing damage. Except we have case after case after case after case where there is hard water damage with the Halo system. And so apparently it's not being suspended well enough. So there's a controversy. Some people swear by the Halo, and I think they're misled by the company. And other people don't swear by the Halo. They think it's a ripoff. And to me, I wonder, how can a company like this be in business so long and market thousands of these if they do absolutely nothing? Now, our waterman says he'll show you scientific tests and evidence that there is no softening being done at all. Now, is it suspending? It could be. It could be. I mean, he says not, because he says you can't have an ionic exchange without a conductive material. And they're simply not magnetic. You can't put a magnet in the water and attract the sediment or the hardness in a water. Or can you change its polarity? Because they're non-metal, is what, according to him. And we have a controversy because there are people that swear by it and people that don't. But in this particular case, yet another case where hardness did damage to this tank because they thought they were softening the water with Halo. Again, Halo on its own site does not say it removes hardness. It says it suspends hardness, yet they call themselves a softener. So, my recommendation, I mean, you know, people are going to hate me. Based on what we're finding before and after a Halo, I wouldn't install one. I wouldn't use one in my home. Just because science, in my opinion, scientific testing can be relied on. And unless you manipulate the results, there is no difference. There's absolutely no difference. And there's another test we do, soap residual test. If you take a water softener and you soften the water and take a clean piece of laundry, like a washcloth, that came out of a water softening system, and then you take a washcloth that was washed using the Halo system, the residual soap is almost non-existent in the softening, the conventional softening system. But there's loads of residual soap in the Halo system. So why is it residual soap? Because if you're softening water, you should be rinsing that soap away, and that doesn't seem to be the case. Again, I'm going to recognize it's a controversy, and not everyone agrees. I recognize that fully. There are people that will swear to the Halo. Mark?
Well, you started off by saying this company really didn't do anything wrong.
No,
you don't
Mark,
think they did.
No, I don't. I said I don't know if it was intentional.
Okay, I guess what I'd say is, who cares? These people dropped $20,000 plus. They put in a system. Their water on the other side of the softener, I don't care what it's called, is at a 52. The equipment they installed along with that Halo can only operate below 10. They had to replace it because it cracked within 3 months. They refused to do anything else. Whether they did intentionally,
yeah, they did replace the tank.
Yeah, but big deal. It's going to crack again in 3 months,
or 4 or 5,
or whatever it is. They okey doke these guys, and they refused to do anything. I don't care if they did it intentionally or on accident. This Blue Sky is refusing to fix it.
Well,
that's the problem.
Now, and here's what Blue Sky says to their defense. They say that the Halo is operating perfectly. So if you can't measure softer water...
They did measure it, though. Paul went out and proved it.
According to Halo, you can't measure its effects because it's suspending the minerals, not removing them.
Then why did it crack?
I don't know. And I'd like to know if someone has had Halo long-term that had hard water, if we could examine their pipes. That's what I'd like to do. Not their hardness, because Halo will say, we don't change the hardness, we suspend the hardness.
Doc, did you even call these guys?
Did you talk to Blue Sky?
I'm trying, not yet. I'm trying to get in touch with the right people. I will have an update on Wednesday.
All right, we got more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show.
Man, that's a tough. Mark, I just want to say something. Can you turn that off? Turn that off real quick.
Is sponsored by Blind Stir.
It is a very good time to be traveling on the major metro highways here in town and also on the side streets. Pretty quiet, really. I-25 traffic moving along quite well. 13 minutes between downtown and the tech center. No problems on 225 either direction. You drive across I-70 looking good even through that construction zone east of I-25 up to full speed as you work your way there between I-25 and I-270. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, mostly sunny, dry today, a high of 58. Tonight's low 22 and then colder tomorrow with a chance for 3 to 4 inches of snow Tuesday night through Wednesday. Currently, it's 45. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, I'm Chris McLaughlin, 630 KHOW.
Do you need new blinds or shades? Blindstor.com offers custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindstor blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. Don't overpay for new blinds. Shop Blindstor today and save big. Blindstor.com.
Approval Reverse Mortgage for your reverse loans. I've known Joan Sullivan for many years, and she handles reverse loans, and she does it in a way that is thoughtful and kind, and she takes your considerations into account. In other words, she makes sure it's a great fit for you, and she gets them done quickly and efficiently. One thing about a reverse loan, you'll never be upside down, ever, and most of the time, the house far out appraises and grows faster than the loan balance, but your estate will never be strapped with a bill. ApprovalReverse.com, 303-771-3528, 771-3528. ZeroResDenver.com, the place to go for pure carpet cleaning. We've just been talking about water and water quality. They use their own water. And they use a water that they call empowered. In fact, they have a patented process. They make this water super soft and soluble, and they make it, like I believe, alkaline base and some other secrets that clean without any soap or emulsifiers. I love the way my carpets look, and it doesn't leave behind any residue at all because there's no residue used. Nothing except water. Your carpets dry faster, stay clean longer. ZeroRes, the only system I trust in my home. 303-471-5150. ZeroRes. By the way, ZeroRes is spelt the same backward and forward. What do you call that?
Palindrome.
Palindrome. Okay. ZeroRes. And it's ZeroResDenver.com. 303-471-5150.
What's up, Nuggets fan?
Well, Mary here to tell
Listen,
you about Orchard.
I'm not,
Looking to buy a home,
I am an actual absolute guy a lot, but I'm not with everything because I refuse to believe that there's thousands and thousands of these things out there and they're absolutely useless. I mean, but my guy, he's so, that one guy is so absolute. They're fucking nothing. They do nothing.
Hey, Tom, Denver Real Estate Moguls,
Okay.
they're rental property folks that are on a referral list.
stays in there as a water
He still wanted to come on to chat a little bit about new rental laws.
I'm only talking about the zero. I understand what a softener actually does.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out what ZeroRes is doing.
You know, you would think changing the makeup of the molecules of the water so they don't stick to things, so they're not sticky is kind of the way to look at it, so it won't stick to the pipes.
But
okay, so the
by
current
the
is
way,
suspended in the water
I'm
and
gonna tell you
goes out
something
the end of the pipe.
I don't know the science, so I
I didn't mean
can't
to be
argue.
this late this morning, but I did get you a
But
key
the
made to the
people that-
office
there
this
are
weekend,
people
so it's in the
at
car. I
the
just
lab
got to bring it up. If you want to remind me to grab it on our way out today,
I mean, again,
or I can get it to you in the morning, whatever. Generally,
I have so many numbers on there.
If I see you outside, I'll get it from you. If not, I'll get it tomorrow.
I don't want to call everybody.
Customers love it. They want it. They do a hell of a job with their marketing. So
What is it supposed to do exactly?
It conditions the water, keeps the scale buildup
No,
from happening.
but how? What does it do exactly?
The mechanism of
What's the mechanism of action?
ionization. They call it ionization. Yeah. Ionic.
It's like a magnetic, like force that's supposed to neutralize the ions and stuff, but they don't stick to the
Chris is exactly right. It changes the molecular structure of the solids, so they don't actually stick. But apparently, that's not what's happening.
Well,
that's what
they wouldn't have blown the tank.
Stop by any
Right, there's
This
hardness
This hardness was
Maybe Halo
52.
has a hardness
I think that's
limit.
you know, that's a hell because there's a certain
That water was that water was like
stuff like that.
That's a hell of a point. I bet you that would be right on their website. They would have to. What was that? What's that? If there's parameters in which Halo
if
can
there's a
operate.
tolerance that the Halo operates within.
That's a hell of a point. Yeah. Let's see what they say.
So we know the tank has tolerance. Okay, so now we got to figure out if the Halo couldn't even handle couldn't do its job, actually.
That's entirely possible. So maybe they only can operate at hardness levels 30. I don't know, actually. I don't know. I mean, I gotta look. I'll bet you that.
Because it could be just too hard where it can't do nothing.
Yeah.
We're gonna get Logan on. It's exactly what I thought. The fucking Halo's not a water softener. These assholes are saying it's a water softener and it's not.
Yeah, but Mark, a water conditioner. If we get says filtering and conditioning system.
Will you wait till Wednesday?
I just talked to Bob. I explained the whole thing to him. He says they shouldn't have put a halo in there. It's fucking pretty straightforward. The halo is not meant to soften water. It's a conditioner. It's to make the water taste good and to take out chemicals and shit like that.
And to make it so it doesn't stick to things.
They didn't do their homework on it.
I'll give a follow-up.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Electra, what a neat name. Is that your real name, Electra?
That is the real name on the birth certificate and everything.
Whoa! Your parents, okay. Wasn't Electra a superhero or something?
Yes,
or a villain?
Well, a ninja assassin in the Daredevil comic.
Okay. So what's going on?
So, about a year ago, I fell through a ceiling, helping my father paint parts of his house. And I, of course, was injured by that, had to go to a hospital. And I received, a smaller bill. That bill got paid. And now I'm being taken to court for a bill that I didn't receive.
Okay. Now, the smaller bill was the hospital bill or the practice bill, and the other one was the practice bill or because the doctors usually bill separately. Is that what happened at the ER?
It seems like that's what happened. It looks like I paid a bill for them looking over the x-rays, essentially.
Okay, but you did not pay the bill for the whole thing. How much was that bill?
Almost $2,000.
Yeah. So why didn't you get a bill for that? Do you know? This happened to me once, by the way. I went to it was an ER, and I didn't get a bill. Here's what they said, what's your address? And I said, I'll give you my address, but I don't get mail there. I have to give you my mailing address. And I gave them my mailing address. They said, no, we need your physical address too. And I gave it to them. And they ended up sending it to where I don't get mail. And I never paid it because I never got it. This is how I met Frank Ball, the collection attorney. So he was collecting, and I called him, and I said, what are you doing? Why am I being summoned? He said, well, you never paid the bill. I said, I never got the bill. He looked into it, and sure enough, he verified it was sent to the wrong address. So he had all the penalties and everything removed, and I paid the bill. Here's what I'm getting at. The fact that you didn't get it doesn't relieve you of it, but it could erase some of the penalties.
Okay. Yeah, so we moved shortly after that accident happened to a new home in a new county. So I'm assuming that that's what happened and why we didn't receive those bills.
They were sent to your old address?
Most likely, yeah.
Okay.
If you pay them now, I'm sure they're not going to do anything on your credit or anything.
You do have Electra. Are you calling for what reason? Do you not want to pay them? Do you think you're not required to, or what? What's the main reason for the call?
The main reason is that I don't know how to file an answer form with the court today to ensure that I don't get in more trouble.
Okay, so you were actually, hold on, you were actually summoned to go to court?
Yes.
When do you have to appear?
10 a.m. this morning. I showed up and they told me that they would not be having court. And so my option was to pay $100 and file an answer.
What do you mean they would not be having court? What was today for?
It was for the court summons, but they said because of COVID, they're not having any court.
Which means what? When are they going to have it? Are you going to be resummoned or what?
No, I'm just required to file an answer by the end of today.
But you have no adequate answer, Electra.
Yeah, there isn't. That's the problem is I don't have the correct answer today for it, but I'm worried that if I don't file an answer today,
what you get is a default judgment. You usually get a default judgment. Let me ask you something. How much are they asking for?
$2,200 now because of all the legal fees and everything.
So $200 more.
I tried to reach out to the collections agency to try to reach some sort of.
And what are they saying?
The settlement that they offered me was the principal balance, essentially.
Well, listen, that's the best you're going to get. Electra, I don't know what you're asking for, dear. Seriously. If you want to hang on and ask specific questions, okay. But that's the best you're going to get, probably.
Do you understand what I'm saying about Halo? It's probably a fine system for what it does. It doesn't soften water. I don't know why it's become a anti-Halo issue. When it comes to a water softener, it sucks because it's not a water softener.
Astra will help you track down every last one, so you get your biggest refund guaranteed.
That's why I'm so pissed at Blue Sky on this. It's like, God bless, guys.
Tax credits instead. Learn more at jacksonhewitt.com.
Here's what I said. I had an argument with somebody saying that Halo does not call itself softener, and then I was told, oh yes, they do.
But they're a water conditioner.
I went through their
I want to see. Well, tell me, did they ever? No, I don't see. I
don't see anywhere where Halo on their own site says we're a water softener. Anywhere.
Yeah, they don't, because I have a shirt.
Now, Bob said you can custom order certain things for Halo as add-ons.
Yeah.
That might actually soften water. Yeah. But that's not the case in what we're talking about.
What's the difference? In fact, it says, what's the difference between us of it and a water softener? It says, what's the difference between Halo and a water softener? It says it right here in their FAQ. So let me see. Well, see here, they're saying it solves hard water and chlorine problems.
But it doesn't take the hardness out; it just changes the water molecules.
You can't do an apple-to-apple comparison. They say softeners.
Softeners take out the minerals. They soften the water.
They do. They take the alpha calcium and magnesium.
But the argument goes beyond that. Everything I've read and
what they say here is traditional water softeners are more expensive and less effective.
Moderna says it's COVID-19.
Whoa, that's
Bob knows it. Bob knows everything about this.
It joins Pfizer as fully approved vaccine.
He says Plumline would never sell these as a water softener. Because they're not a fucking water softener. They're not going to soften the water. It might make the water tasty. It might take out some bacteria. It might do a lot of shit, but it ain't going to soften the water.
A family in Southern California is demanding answers. Heather
They
Garcia
don't condition it. Blue Sky's up to 3.
Well, no, because
are they refusing?
They're just saying, fuck it. That's my understanding. According to the caller, they're not doing anything.
Garcia went out onto the freeway. She was hit by another car and died. Her husband is asking.
Yeah, I mean, they just need to go
softeners. The rest, they just take the fucking Halo out and go get something else in.
Well, because they probably can't get their money back.
Blue Sky doesn't want to do that.
Blue Sky is saying everything's hunky-dory. According to the caller, once again. We don't know.
Okay.
I'm going to try and deal with this tomorrow. I have all day to deal with it.
We had another one with them a while back. I don't remember what it was, but it sucked as well.
New Axios study finds fewer people are stiffing their servers.
So the boiler itself is a tankless style boiler with a storage tank? Oh, I don't think it is tankless. It's a cast iron. It might be tankless with a side arm for the water. Probably what they got, yeah.
And it says right in the manuals, do not operate if the water's over 10, whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah.
And their water's at 52.
Squirting rocks through that thing.
Well, fuck, man, that thing broke in, what, 3 months?
The tank broke or the boiler broke?
The tank, the hot water tank.
So that doesn't make any fucking sense either, because the oil inside that tank is 1 inch diameter. There's no way in hell that thing could fail in 3 months. I mean, unless they're literally pumping sand through that. No, I know, that didn't make sense to me either, but no. If the tank failed, the tank itself, water sits in that tank, but
We got any pictures of the configuration? Do we know what is out there other than Paul does?
No matter what, they replace it.
Yeah, but the argument is it's going to continue to happen.
It will, because the water is still hard.
That's some pretty hard fucking water.
That's got to be some, that's got to be gritty water.
Paul said it's crazy. They shouldn't be drinking the fucking water.
Are they on a well?
Yeah.
A firefighter shot while responding to a fire.
Oh, come on now.
And
in California, damn. Sometimes I hate that's where I'm from.
Yeah, but that could be, I mean, that's not saying it was like a setup, right? The cops were a setup over the weekend, but I don't know. This could be anything, a straight bullet. Man, did you hear that poor lady turn around? Her 3-year-old was dead, or 2-year-old. A bullet, a straight bullet, while she was driving, went through the trunk, went in, went through the car seat, and she went to pick her kid up, and she thought the kid was sleeping and was shot driving down the fucking highway.
Where was this at? California?
Or New York.
Oh, my God.
This report
Straight
is
bullet.
sponsored by Jackson Hewitt.
Fuck, what are the chances of a stray bullet hitting you? It's so fucking
That
slim.
depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true. I guess if you're in Iraq.
If they're flying around, yeah.
I-25 traffic, though, is moving along really well. And pretty much
Ooh-wee, Trump vows to pardon Capitol rioters if he is reelected.
Oh, shit. God, he does can say some fucking crazy shit.
Yeah.
That guy, if he could have just kept his mouth shut,
He just tapped out his next election.
No, I doubt it, dude. If they said he left that thing on the weekend, man, they said he had that place like the Super Bowl going.
Oh, yeah.
That motherfucker can, I'll tell you, he can light up. Dan went to see him. Dan said it was like seeing a fucking Metallica concert. He comes out and he's just walking around on stage. People are fucking jumping. I mean, it's like insane.
And find a location near you.
Your insurance company and adjuster.
I think it's the opposite of that, though, to leave. I think that's what gets that base out to vote is shit like
Yeah,
that.
no, that is what gets that base out to vote.
Yeah.
Lunacy.
Yeah. If you would bring some of the other side to come along, you could tone it down a notch, but he's not going to do that.
No, because really what worked for him the first
Look
time
at the
when everybody said
heading
no,
is it's democracy in peril.
Democracy is in
No
peril.
shit.
Hey, democracy is in peril. I don't care which station you're looking at.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I still want my BNC right there, Black News Channel.
That's right.
Trump invokes race when
Put it
calling.
on. No, I want a third.
Oh, you want a third?
Yeah.
There you go.
See, I want left white, right white, and black.
Yeah, that's funny. Hey, man, you got to get it from all angles. You got to figure out what's going on. Yeah, and will not let go of that January 6th. They will not.
That's the only thing they have right now, unless they want to go after Biden.
You know that.
Well, if he gets the BNC, I want the JNC.
Put it up there.
I want the Jewish News Channel.
Is there one? No. Is there one? No, but I'm serious. Is there one?
No, I just make that up.
Because I'm telling you, if you watch this and you watch that, they're polar opposites. And then when you put the, and then when you,
You're saying that Black News Network is the only neutral?
no, I'm saying, no. I'm saying no one is neutral, Tom.
I disagree.
Three different Shepard Smith.
I'm telling you, you watch it, there is no opinion.
I agree with Doc.
I'm gonna have to
No
check that
opinion on the show.
30 K-How.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. If you run a network of computers, you want to hear this, or even have one, or a family network, or you want to keep an eye on kids, listen, this is really, really important. Safernet.com is a website. When you go there, you can download an app. That app runs in the background. It's only a couple bucks a month. It runs in the background and will absolutely shut down malware, ransomware, and attacks on your cell phone, your laptop, your tablet, your computer, whatever you have. Wherever you have that app running, it's a couple bucks for each device a month. Plus, you can even control how much your kids surf, where they surf, how they surf, or employees or whatever. Now, this is an unbelievable app. Right here in Colorado, invented. used nationwide, it would have saved the pipeline people who paid millions in ransom. It would have saved them from that attack. SaferNet.com. The best protection you can get. SaferNet.com. All right, let's talk. I want to really quickly do a couple follow-ups. And we had a controversy with a plumbing company that installed a halo while they were installing a boiler because the boiler called for a certain hardness of water. She had a 52 grain hardness. The water heater called for a 7 or 8 and definitely under 10. So they installed a halo system before the boiler to treat the water before the boiler. We had someone go out and test the water, and the water is exactly the same hardness before the halo and after the halo, which got us talking about the halo. And the halo on its own website puts down water softeners and says it does a better job at conditioning the water. And as I said before, there's a controversy. Some people swear by the halo, other people do not, even when it comes to so-called water conditioning. There are people who say the halo sucks. There are people who say the halo is the best thing on the market. There are also people who hate water softening, conventional water softening, and there are people who love conventional water softening. So, I mean, if you get 100 experts together, they're going to start agreeing and disagreeing on different areas. So we brought our own guy on, Bob Logan, because I believe they sell halo systems, and I just wanted to know if he would use a halo. The only question I really have, would you use a halo system to treat water before going into a boiler to keep it from failing from hardness? Anyway, Bob Logan is with Plumbline Services. They're great people. Plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains. Bob?
Hi, Tom.
Hi. What is your thought on halo?
Well, first of all, I think Halo makes a tremendous product. I actually have one in my home and absolutely love it because it filters the home throughout the entire house. So not only the water you drink, but the water you bathe in and shower in.
When you say filter, what do you mean filter, Bob?
So that's, I know that's where the controversy is, and I don't know the specifics of the customer that you're calling about.
Well, yeah, I want to know, does it soften water?
The Halo system itself, the Halo 5, which was what I got for water treatment, does not soften your water. Now, it'll give you some of the benefits of soft water, but if you test it before and after, before you put in a Halo system and after you put in a Halo system, you will not see any change in the hardness of your water. That's not what it's designed for.
What is it designed for?
Now, so basically it's designed as a filtration unit. So it takes the chlorine, the chloramines, the gases, dyes, fuels, heavy metals, minerals, all that stuff out of your water. And so it does have a reversing polarity system built within it. So that's where you get some of the benefits that soft water will give you. But they don't claim to be a water softener, and it's not a water softener. They have a separate product that is a water softener. And from my understanding, this person that called in is on a well, and Halo makes customized systems for wells.
All right.
And so anytime we get somebody on a well, we take a water test, we send it into an independent laboratory. We usually use national testing laboratories or an independent third party, and then we submit those results to Halo, and they help us customize something. But I would never just put a Halo 5 system or any system especially on a well, without having testing done and getting a recommendation.
All right, that's great. That's great. I appreciate that, Bob. As always, Plumbline Services, 303-386-1086, plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains. So, listen, again, what should Blue Sky do in this case? Well, I believe that was inappropriate to sell to make the water ready for that boiler.
Yeah, as Bob just said, it's not a water softener. Why are they selling it to them?
And it's inappropriate for the well without testing. And they didn't do any water testing.
Nothing, apparently. We did the water testing, or Paul did.
Right. All right, let's keep going. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Ryan, you have a follow-up, I believe. You were locked out of a rental, and it really pissed me off because they're not supposed to do that, Ryan. You said the locks were changed, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And why were the locks changed? Didn't they say that they were doing it for your safety after we looked into it a little more? Wasn't it like something about for your safety or what?
So basically, we discovered black mold in and around our HVAC unit. They've been taking steps to do a remediation process, but they haven't been very communicative at all. This is the retreat of Park Meadows, a big apartment complex here in Denver, and they've just been very uncommunicative. We sent an email to them saying that we would accept their offer to break our lease and move out.
Good.
They never responded to it. We just decided to move in and start moving our stuff out. We've been let in by the mold company who's been doing the remediation. We've been taken through the containment area where they're not wearing masks or any protective gear. They said they already cleaned and they were going to do testing, so we didn't feel like it was a big issue for us to go in there. We kind of moved some of the containment barriers so we could get our stuff out of one of the rooms that was completely blocked off. Didn't, happen to move it all back the way it was found. And the apartment complex changed the locks and said, because we messed.
So wait a minute. Hold on. So you agreed to break the lease. They allowed you out of the lease.
Yes.
Well, that's why they changed the locks, bro. It's not like they locked you out. When you first called, you said they locked you out.
Well, they did this before they had even seen that we had chosen to break the lease. They didn't even see that email.
I think they locked you out because there was remediation going on. They didn't want anyone screwing with it. In any case, what I need to know is, how do you solve it? What is the problem today?
Well, the problem is I just want to get the rest of my stuff out and move it out. I mean,
I don't blame you. Will they let you get your stuff or not?
No. They have not responded. They want to complete testing and make sure that there's no more mold in the apartment before they open it up.
Okay, so they won't let you in to get your stuff because they want to be sure it's safe.
They want to make sure that the testing is done and that there's no more mold.
Well, isn't that really a situation I'm not saying you did it wrongly, but you kind of created this. Like you said, black mold, oh my God, do something. They came in and did it. During the time that they started remediation, you moved out and went where?
They gave us a separate apartment for us to move into temporarily.
Okay, so they came in, gave you temporary housing, and started remediation immediately. It sounds like they reacted the way they were supposed to, and now you're upset with them because they're being extra cautious on someone who complained about black mold. I look at it as they're thinking, wait a minute, this guy's going to sue us. I mean, we already exposed him. We're remediating it. We don't want to let him come in until we know it's safe. I'm just trying to see what they're thinking. I don't think they're saying, screw this guy, we're going to keep his stuff, let's lock him out. I mean, do you think that's what they're saying, Ryan?
Well, I mean, the thing is I don't think that they've been honest in this entire situation. They never received our email.
Okay, but so what? But so what? I mean, what I'm saying is that's water under the bridge. You're leaving. They're letting you out of the lease. The fact that they weren't honest has nothing to do with the situation today. The situation today is they won't let you go back in there until they know it's safe.
Right.
So, okay. And what is wrong with that stance is what I'm asking you. I'm not challenging you. I'm asking you, what is wrong with that stance in your mind?
All right. No, I don't think that there's anything necessarily wrong with that. I think that just this whole situation has just been ridiculous because they're trying to say that we caused all this mold damage, and they're finding mold in other apartments. The other side.
Well, how did they say you caused it?
They're saying that we caused it because we had these unreported issues with our AC over the summer, which isn't true.
Okay, all right. But what does that have to do with today? Now, you're getting out of the lease. They're not charging you for the damage. You're going to another place.
Oh, they are charging us for the damage. They're charging us for the damage. They're going to charge us for the damage.
So they're, hold on, Ryan,
below,
Ryan, are they coming after you for the mold?
Yes.
Okay, then that's a major issue. So you're going to have to fight that. Are they suing you for damages? Did they tell you they're suing you? How much do they want?
They have not been they have not communicated much other than they are going to hold us liable for the damages.
Okay.
We've requested how much they're going to charge us. We wanted work orders for our records, mold tests.
Well, they're not going to do that, and I'll tell you why. Because they're going to sue you. And they're going to let the courts take care of it. You're saying just give me the bills and I'll pay them. Is that what you're saying?
No, I want to know how I want to know how
they're blaming you for the mold. I'm not sure how, but they are. Okay, so I don't know how. But hold on a second. We have somebody on a referral list that deals with rental issues all the time. Just because they're saying you're responsible doesn't mean you're going to be held responsible, okay? They might just want to get rid of you. Did we assign this to anyone to talk to the landlord? Because
Marty's been working on it.
The main thing I want to know about this is, are they going to find him responsible? If they just both go their separate ways, I'd be satisfied. Case done.
I like Christian.
What an odd deal. He said something about the air conditioner. How can they possibly hold him responsible?
And he also mentioned finding mold in other units.
Yeah. But I'm not so sure. Yeah, but they're saying that might be because of his problem, I think.
Well, we need to find
That
out.
would be hard to prove.
Yeah.
They might just be pissed and they're saying. I'm not so sure I believe anything that the man says.
Yeah.
Order 24/7 at easycater.
I don't know.
That's interesting.
Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies is someone, yes, I'm going to go to them to quarterback my entire plan. I just decided that. I need someone to help me make decisions on what to do with everything. They don't do just investments. They don't do just one thing or another. They do it all. They look at your retirement plan. Now, you can meet with them as much as makes you comfortable. A family trusted team. They're all related, and they got together to help people make decisions on taxes, Social Security, Medicare supplements, insurance, annuities, when to take retirement, how to take it. Retirement planning is a big puzzle. They help you fit it all together. They are your team, rpcenter.com. You see, more than one service. They are a team. They'd be glad to talk to you on how they're compensated and how that works for you to your benefit. As I said, they'll meet with you until you're comfortable with no charges whatsoever, and they're totally transparent on how they make money. So here's what you do. Give them a call. You can arrange a video conference. They can come to you, or you can go to them. 970-663-3211. 970-663-3211. rpcenter.com. That's Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies. Did you know Century RV is one of the only places you can go and just sell a used RV and get a great price for it? You can also trade it in and get trade-in values. Or you can get a huge selection still, even with the supplies the way they are, a huge selection of new and used RVs at CentryRV.com. It's at exit 240 and I-25. As you're going north, that exit 240 to Longmont, take it, and then turn right at the exit and go down the frontage road. It's right there. Great people, CentryRV.com. That's CENTURY, like 100. CentryRV.com, 303-453-1111. Almost every day I get an email or an inquiry on personal injury because people don't know what to do when they've been injured in an accident, especially if they perceive it to be someone else's fault. I always tell them to call John Fuller and get free legal advice. Why? Because John will talk to you as long as it takes to give you that advice, so you will know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And there's no charge for that. And if you decide to hire him, no out-of-pocket. It's a contingency. He collects a small portion of what he collects for you. 303-597-4500. Call him for free legal advice. 303-597-4500.
Tony, are you interviewing someone for the Marshall fire today? He said he's calling into the K-House show, 12:30 interview, a precious child. Is any of that ringing a bell? Nope, I'll tell him.
Precious child.
It's for the Marshall fire. I know iHeart's doing a big thing with Fox News. I
Well,
don't
tell him that. Did he say he arranged it with me?
No, he says he didn't know who it was for.
I don't really know about it. I'm sorry. I don't know about it,
it.
so I'd be a bad interview.
I wonder if it's for Ross.
It is for us because he did a big thing on that this morning.
Learn about how natural biologics can be used to get you moving again, but pain-free. Listen, don't let them keep giving you steroids, and don't let them tell you surgery is your only option. Get a free second opinion at QC Connect. Do it now and imagine life in 2022 without pain. Call QC Connect at 303-900-8986. 303-900-8986. That's 303-900-8986.
Have you still not refinanced your mortgage? Well, soon you might be kicking yourself in the head. Rates are at historic lows, so take advantage of our new Fast Track loan with an unbelievable low rate of 3.125 rate and APR with our no closing costs 30-year fixed loan. That's right, no points, no fees. Hi, I'm Wesley Hoagland with Westland Financial.
Y'all gotta get your ducks cleaned, Tom. What's that? You see that?
What?
You gotta get your ducks cleaned.
Oh,
Look at all that
they're not
dust up
mine.
there. No.
Although I'm breathing it. Yeah.
Well, let's just hope that's a sucker.
Yeah, it is. But if it's sucking it, it's blowing it.
Over there.
Oh, yeah.
I used one of the guys on your referral list to do my ducks, and he was awesome. Duck Pros?
No, it was Gecko.
Yeah.
Gecko Air Duct Systems. He's good. Yeah, he is. He's very thorough. Nice guy, too.
What if selling your car made you as happy as Flowers, Puppy, Sunshine Pie? Well, at
Flowers,
EchoPark.com,
Puppy, Sunshine
it's
Pie.
easy to sell
Ooh,
your car.
that's
It actually
happy.
does feel
That's
like
super
Flowers,
happy.
Puppy, Sunshine
That's over the top happy right there.
EchoPark.com. Buying and selling made happier.
This is Chris Collinsworth. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
The Avalanche beat the Sabres yesterday for their 10th consecutive win and 18th straight at Ball Arena.
You know, the Avalanche getting such little publicity because none of the local stations are carrying their games because of that. They're like so far in front for the Stanley Cup playoffs. They're like several, points ahead of the second place team.
Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app
And there's so little publicity because no one can watch the games.
Special offer when you
They're
sign
still
up.
going through that?
Yep.
Sports.
Same with the Nuggets. Nuggets and Cronky, whatever they're doing.
DraftKings Sportsbook. Tell your smart device.
Cronky's got a lot of pull, though.
The Avalanche are like 28-2 over the last 30 games or something ridiculous like that.
30K pounds from iHeartRadio.
Denver's talk
Well, Cronky's focused on other things right now.
He owns the Rams, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Ryan, he ended his lease, okay? And now they're keeping him out. He said they kept him out from even before that, but that's neither here nor there. That's too late. You can't go after the landlord for locking him out after the lease is terminated. They put him in temporary housing. Now he wants his stuff. He wants to move on, and they say he can't go in there unless it's safe. At the same time, Ryan says the real issue is that they're going to sue him and come after him for all the damages, claiming he started it. Now, if that's the case, he has a lot to worry about. I think what Ryan ought to do is be happy to break the lease and get out of there, move out, and be done with it. And he said, but what about them coming after me or blaming me? And that is a very serious issue. So hold on here, Ryan. I want to bring up Deputy Smarty Pants, who we had kind of look into this. Deputy Smarty Pants, Marty, did you check with the landlord? Are they holding him responsible?
Yeah. The only reason I didn't call in, Tom, there's nothing to report. I called them on Friday, and it was near the end of the work day, and they told me to send an email. They do everything through email, which I did, and there's no response. So there's nothing to add to the story.
So you don't know that they're holding him responsible. You haven't verified that.
I haven't heard anything, and they didn't contact me. They didn't contact Ryan.
Okay.
As he's telling you, that's all. That's all I know.
Okay, I see it.
But I did have dinner with a friend of mine who's a landlord, and I gave him the story as presented by Ryan, and it was his opinion that they should not have locked him out on February 1st.
Well, not if he was not if he still had an active lease and was paying rent.
Okay, I don't know if
I don't know when he actually terminated his lease, but again, that's not even worth addressing, because even if they did lock him out, it's a moot point now, because that lockout was after they had given him temporary housing somewhere else. And I want to know from Sean. Sean is a rental expert, to say the least. Sean Gilliand is with Denver Real Estate Moguls. They do. Don't you manage apartments for people, Sean?
Yeah, we manage individual. I mean, everything from a lot of single-family homes, actually, but yeah, different condos and.
But rental, I mean, I don't know if you know, and I don't know, but this is not a typical lockout. This is a landlord saying, "We don't know if it's safe or not," and you're the one that raised the alarm to begin with.
There's probably some bitterness there. I would imagine they have the right to lock him out due to safety issues at this point. Whether they might be using it as an excuse
when
they sue him is
right,
another issue.
Sean. They might be doing it as an excuse, but it seems like they found a good excuse.
That's my thoughts.
Okay, and here's the other thing, Ryan. Did they really say, by the way, Ryan, we're coming after you for all these damages?
They said in an email, because you had unreported issues with the AC over the summer, we are holding you liable for all damages as a result of this.
Wow. You could
I do want to clarify.
Yeah, go ahead.
I do want to clarify about breaking the lease. So we accepted their offer to break the lease, but that lease is broken basically today. Like, it ends today. We paid rent for all of January, so technically we paid for rent for our apartment to have access to until today.
I understand. Well, you paid rent and they were giving you a place to live or not?
They did. They did give us another apartment.
When are you still in that other apartment?
No, we've moved out.
Okay, so I think that's their argument's going to be, yeah, we gave them another apartment because we went in and started mitigating immediately, which is what we're supposed to do, and we locked him out because we didn't want him to have access to a dangerous place. Ryan, that's the scenario they're building. That it is, whether you agree with it or not, that's what they're building. And it sounds very logical and reasonable to me, an outsider. Ryan complained, they got on it immediately, they put Ryan in temporary housing, and now he can't go back into the dangerous place. Okay, to me, it sounds logical. To you, it doesn't. I don't know what else to say. Right now, your main deal is you can't get your stuff. Did they say when you would be able to get your stuff?
We would be able to maybe get our stuff as at the earliest on the 4th when the testing is done. And I do want to also say that the ridiculous part about this whole thing is we also found evidence of mold in the apartment that they set us up in. I mean, it almost seems like it's a building-wide issue. We've talked to several neighbors. They've all had issues with water damage. We've seen mold in their apartments. The people across the hall from us, the people down below from us. Where do you see this mold?
Where do you see the mold?
It's around the HVAC unit and around the water heaters.
On the inside of the place?
Yeah, inside the HVAC unit where the air return is. So it's getting collected by the central air and blown through all the ductwork, and it's around the water heaters. Yes, the apartment we're in has mold. The apartment below our previous apartment has mold. The apartment below that one has mold. The apartment across the hall has mold.
Have you ever done any airborne testing of mold spores?
Yeah, we actually have we have some at-home mold tests that we got from Home Depot. Taped it up to our air duct and swabbed in our unit, and then we swabbed a couple other units as well.
So, are they saying all the mold in that building is your responsibility, or just the one in your place?
They have only said the one in our place, the mold in our place, and we've heard from our downstairs neighbor that they are blaming us for the mold found in her apartment.
Do you have renter's insurance?
We do.
That's good.
But I mean, I don't know. I don't think it covers the building, the damage to the building. I mean, it's just, we got the same renter's insurance that they offer to everybody in the complex. It's through a local Allstate agent, and I believe that it only covers our personal property. It doesn't cover damage to the building.
Well, usually renters' policies have liability in there. Usually.
Okay.
I mean, I hope. I mean, I've never heard one that doesn't have liability. Sean, haven't you? Don't most renters' policies have liability?
Yeah, it should.
It really should. Now, Ryan, I don't know where we go from here unless Deputy Smarty Pants is still trying to get in touch with the landlord. But the request is going to be you want to get your stuff, and they're saying not yet. I mean, I don't even know what you do in a situation like that.
Well, it's only 4 more days.
It's 4 more days. Ryan, you got to wait 4 more days. Is that going to do you insurmountable harm?
No, I mean, look, it's at this, not getting our stuff right away. I mean, the main issue here is just this whole liability of mold damage for several apartments. We've been living there for only 4 months.
No, I get it. I don't know how they're going to make that stick. That's going to be
an uphill battle.
What's that?
For
Sean?
them to try to.
Yeah.
I think that's an uphill battle for them to try to blame and charge him for that if he actually fought that. They have to have some serious evidence of that.
The problem is if they truly come after you, Ryan, in a lawsuit, just to fight it's going to cost $10,000. Honest to God,
well, yeah.
even when somebody's right, they end up spending money. We have more coming right up.
This sucks.
This is Denver's talk station with Tom.
I'll go back to Sean about real estate laws, but I need to take callers.
Denver.
Crazy stuff, man.
Some of the problems.
This report is sponsored by Walgreens.
Sounds like that Ryan guy's pretty
There's
screwed.
traffic right now along I-70 eastbound between I-25 and Steele. Overall, your I-70 drive is up to full speed as you work your way between Arvada and Aurora. The I-25 is looking great as well. No reported slowdown between Thornton and Castle Rock. C-470 in good shape along the foothills. And your drive through Lakewood on 6th Avenue up to full speed. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, sunny and dry today, a high of 58, tonight's low 22, and then colder for tomorrow with a chance for 3 to 4 inches of snow Tuesday night through Wednesday. Currently it's 51. With your impact traffic and weather, I'm Chris McLaughlin, 6:30 a.m.
How's our snowpack looking?
Medicare prescription copays at Walgreens.
Still low? Our snowpack? We need more snow, don't we? I'm not sure. I heard it was catching up.
Don't forget, March and April are 2 snowiest months.
That's true.
I think it's pretty decent, man. Like 100%.
BlakeHarrisLaw.com. What is Blake Harris? He's an estate planning attorney that everyone needs. Don't ever take that for granted. If you don't have a solid will, get one. And you may need a
trust. We just had questions today about a beneficiary's deed, like leaving a home or putting the home in a trust. Which one is better? They both have their advantages. Whatever you need, he can answer your questions at 833-ASK-BLAKE. It's so important you get the right information, and he doesn't charge for it. He only charges flat rates for what he actually does for you. That's BlakeHarrisLaw.com, 833-ASK-BLAKE. If you're looking for a loan, Ideal Home Loans, I've been representing for, since 2000, like 20 years or more. Ideal Home Loans for your next ideal home loan. Why? Because they have so many benefits going for you. The very first one, the interest rate guarantee. When you close, you get a 2-year guarantee that if rates go down, they refinance you free of charge, so you'll never miss the low rate. Now, each time you close, you get another 2-year guarantee. That's idealhomeloans.com. They also have credit optimization. People don't understand quite what that is because they're already approved. But then they come to you and say, hey, maybe you pay down that credit card by a few bucks, or move this over here, or do this or do that, or correct an address on your credit report. Credit optimization gets you even better scoring and gets you better pricing. And don't forget, they let you pick your own term, which means you don't have to have a 15 or 30. And then, of course, they have the pre-approval, which is like a cash deal. The money's already set aside for you. IdealHomeLoans.com. First they listen, then they lend. 303-867-7000.
Ben and Ashley I, Almost Famous, is the Bachelor Recap podcast you can't miss. Breaking down every episode from Bachelor Nation.
Clayton begs for her to stay.
So that absolutely fantastic. That absolutely tells me that it will be an awesome season. And I agree.
Listen to Ben and Ashley I, Almost Famous, on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Brought to you by DuckDuckGo. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo.
Thinking of selling your home and want to save thousands of dollars in commissions? You have to hear about this new program that will save you thousands. Hi, it's Marty Lenz, and I'm here to tell you about my friend Gay Ribble with the Ribble Group, Keller Williams Realty PTC. She just launched what she calls her COVID Seller Protection Program, where the buyer pays all of the commission. Zero
it's actually up today.
Is it? Yeah. Zero commission. And the
moving sideways is what we call it. Up, down, up, down.
Buyers in waiting program. Yeah, will gladly pay the commission, so you can sell your home with full service.
It's up $648 today.
Just this week, the Gross family were about to list with another agent.
Everything's up today, though.
That means tomorrow it'll all be back down.
I don't know, man. I think we might have broke the
and the Ribble Group to learn
bad week last week. Now, when the Fed actually raises, it'll.
4 or 5
I don't think it'll be crazy if he does like an eighth. What do you think he'll do? I don't think it'll be a ton.
GayHasTheBuyers.com.
Do roller coaster stock markets make you nervous?
Tough to say with that guy.
With ups and downs, don't let
They have to raise rates. We know that.
Your retirement. Hi, I'm Linda Gardner, host of Your Money, Your Retirement, Saturday on 630 KHOW. If you're concerned about the markets, call today to schedule a complimentary review of your portfolio. Call 720.
I think 100 years from now, when we look back on all this, they're going to say that that was the worst possible thing, locking us down for that year. Yeah, but we won't be looking.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, it's by far the worst thing. I think hopefully in the future.
They don't know when something comes. Yeah, y'all just go out there and get this.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Just deal with it. Yeah.
Home sale or the best price for your home. Let me tell you about Rudy.
Sean Penn says American males are
Rudy's home sold on the
feminine.
Is that what Sean Penn says?
He blames cowardly jeans. I like that.
Cowardly jeans. Is that a company?
Who makes those jeans?
99 out of 100 orchard customers sell online for more than their cash offer. Getting started is easy. You go online and enter your address at orchard.com. It takes a couple minutes.
Tomorrow, but I thought it was that one. This says two.
Or just curious what Orchard will pay for your home. Get a no-cost, no-obligation offer at orchard.com. That's orchard.com.
Don't let your insurance company dictate your settlement. If you've been impacted by the recent wildfires, call 800-248-3888 today for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. As the oldest, largest, and most respected public adjusting firm, Adjusters International stands ready to provide you a path to financial and emotional recovery. Call today at 800-248-3888. That's 800-248-3888. 800-248-3888.
Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
What did Joe Rogan do that was so bad about COVID?
He didn't do anything.
Nothing.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. All right, Joe, what is going on in your life, Joe, with AmeriGas? What's happening?
Hi, Tom. Longtime fan looking for some advice on how to navigate a delivery and billing issue.
All right, and it says AmeriGas, so you're getting propane from them?
Correct.
And what's the problem?
Started back in October, preseason sale. I ordered 250 gallons, which I never received, but I was billed for it.
Wait, how do you know you didn't? You absolutely didn't get it? Did you ever clear that up?
Well, I called numerous times to complain, and some of my evidence is the fact that the gauge never registered it. They blamed me for that, that my gauge was broken, but it's a lease tank, so it's their tank and their gauge.
Okay, hold on a sec. But here's what I need to know. Did you get that 250 gallons or not?
No.
But they say you did.
Correct. So subsequently, after numerous complaints, about 3 weeks later, they then delivered 355 plus gallons.
Did they?
Did they inflated price?
Okay, but all right. But did they credit you for that Did they take off the 250?
No. And some of my arguments of why I never got the initial 250 is when you do the math, it's only a 500-gallon tank. And I was at 30%, even by their records, at the time of the alleged first delivery. So we're talking...
So wait a minute. So they did 250 and billed you, or said they did. Then they did immediately another 350.
355.7.
Well, that's 600-something pounds. How could they do that? Or 600 gallons, I mean.
Plus, I wasn't empty, so you figure there's at least 100 gallons in the tank. So cannot fit.
This is a tough one. They claim they're billing you for both.
Yes. And so I've called their customer service at least 9 times, and I actually even went to the Evergreen office.
But you're willing to pay for the 350, but you never got the 250, right?
Well, and some of my point is that I only wanted 250, but they took it upon themselves, unauthorized by me, to deliver 355.
Why? Why did they?
I cannot get an explanation with at least 9 phone calls into them. They won't work with me on any issue, or the customer service is poor.
Where are they located? This is so frustrating.
It's a national company now. They used to have what I enjoyed as a local office in Evergreen where they had open houses and barbecues.
Okay, I get it. So, Joe, it all comes down to this. Well, here's the thing. Let's say they didn't do the 250 and we can get that erased. There's no way we're going to get the 350 erased because you didn't want it.
How far?
I know. No, I mean, you acknowledge you got the 350, right?
355, yes.
There's no way we can help you and not have you pay for that.
How far were the 2 deliveries in between?
3 weeks.
How much do you usually use on if they look at past winters?
Yeah, I've been with them for about 18 years, and I would say in a season, in an entire annual year, I probably go through probably 800 gallons.
Okay. So the 250 that you got, was that a regular shipment that you usually get every month or every other month or every 3 months or what? What is that? That 250 they said you got?
I'm on a will call service, so in other words, you call when you want it.
So did you call for that? Did you call for that 250?
Yes, I ordered it.
And then you went out and saw that you were still just 30%.
Yeah, but you said it's correct.
But is it broken?
No, because when they did in fact make the 355-gallon delivery, that brought me up to about 80%.
So your numbers make sense.
That's that's my the strongest argument I have, minus, I don't have a delivery ticket from the alleged first 250. There's no tire tracks in the driveway. You have to force the lid back on. There's a number of things, but the greatest thing is the mathematics.
No, of course. No, I believe you. You got me sold. Deputy Doc, can you make his argument? I mean, sure. I'm sure we can get through to somebody to talk to.
I wonder if one of his neighbors got a free 250 gallons.
What do you use it for?
It's my primary source of heat. I have other ways of heating the home, but that's the primary source downstairs. It's a propane-fired decorative gas stove.
Okay.
I'll go call him right now.
I think that, I think we're going to call him right now. Hold on. I like your numbers. You're being reasonable. Let's talk about that.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Audible. Traffic on I-70 delayed
So,
right now.
what Joe Rogan allegedly or supposedly did, or the action Joe Rogan had on a world-famous cardiologist and the doctor that has several patents on mRNA technology that stated opposition to the CDC and Fauci on COVID.
Can't oppose those guys. Nope. Remember, it wasn't long ago where if you said the flu came from a lab in China, they'd kick you off of Facebook, Twitter. If you said the vax does not stop you from spreading or getting, they'd fucking kick you off.
Make this the winter of you with
That is funny. They kick you off for everything. Now it's all all that shit's proven true.
Yeah. I just posted. I got kicked off for a month.
Listening free when you sign up at audible.com.
Yeah, they did.
Colorado Pain Care, Sport and Spine, the place to go if
you're in pain. I know. I've been there. I think I have a parking space out front. Now, they helped me with my chronic pain a while ago. That didn't come back, thank God. And then recently with a couple sports injuries. But, hey, 303-GOT-PAIN is on my speed dial. On a serious note, they have some really great treatments. They also have physical therapy, world-class physical therapy. They have 2 locations, and they have one in Denver, South Colorado Boulevard. And then, of course, they have their new center. Everything's under one roof out there in Lakewood, and that's near Alameda and Union. You get a free stainless water bottle when you make an appointment. You can show up at your first appointment or whatever appointment. 303-GOT-PAIN. 303-GOT-PAIN. Genesis Total Exteriors, I've been talking about them for years. I know Mark Szymanski personally. You know, no matter what he does it with excellence. He has a solar division, GenesisSolarCO.com, and of course Genesis Total Exteriors, which is really a home improvement company of all kinds inside and out, from the basement, bathroom, kitchen, pop-tops, whatever you need there. Outside he can do anything from roofing, decking, fencing, outbuildings. And here's the deal. If you have any storm damage, it's all on one invoice. You deal with one person that you can trust, Genesis. And that's GenesisTotalExteriors.com. And it's 303-679-8509. Ideal Home Loans for your next Ideal Home Loan. And all you have to do is call them and get the ball rolling. You don't have to visit. You don't have to do anything. Or go online, idealhomeloans.com. They have the interest rate guarantee. You really can't fight that, man. That's one of the best features. Every 2 years, it's a 2-year warranty guarantee. If rates go down, they refinance you free of charge, and every time you close, you get another 2 years. Ideal Home Loans. They also have the pick your own term loan, credit optimization, which helps you get better pricing, and the pre-approval, which is like a cash deal to you. So when you go out shopping, hey, you can close right away because you're already approved. IdealHomeLoans.com, 303-867-7000.
Now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that the widely used non-contact thermometers are not accurate and have high probabilities for false negative readings. New COVID strands are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters most. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Don't wait. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
With a new year comes new ways to save big. Belco Credit Union is offering 1% APY on a 24-month CD on balances of $500 or more. That's right, 1% APY on a 24-month CD. To get that higher rate, you typically need to be in a longer term. Stop by any Belco branch, call 1-800-BELCO-1, or visit belco.org/CD to open a CD online in minutes. Belco membership is required. Conditions and restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA. Belco, banking for everyone.
When it comes to kitchen countertops and cabinets, you're flooded with choices. But my recommendation is but one choice, Art of Granite, luxury with value. Hi, I'm Tom Martino. Wholesale prices on all stone and surfaces, including quartz. Pay only for fabric and installation. And when the kitchen is done, the bathroom is free. All tear out and hallway is also free. Call now for your selection of quartz. All the latest colors. 303-386-5919. TheArtofGranite.com.
You probably wouldn't leave thousands of dollars on the table at a diner. Why leave thousands on the table with your tax return? Jackson Hewitt will help make sure you don't. This year, there are thousands of dollars worth of new tax credits.
Fuck that game.
Jackson Hewitt
So he really
really went to lunch because he's a great
He made a brick wall. The whole team did a brick wall.
Yeah.
Discover thousands of dollars.
This guy, this ESPN guy is saying he
Learn
just,
more at jacksonhewitt.com.
I forgot about right as they walked in, they could have put up 3, but they decided to run one more play with 5 seconds, and then they fucking don't get it.
That's crazy wall. Yeah.
Super important.
And then they threw that interception. We'll get the 20-yard line.
Yeah, he's gonna have to get it figured out if he wants to be one of the greats. Twice in a row this now that he shit the bed.
So wake up and find you in the bed.
It's such a massive comeback, man. How about this guy's saying, like, they didn't really even, the other team didn't do anything different.
No.
So it should have, like, continued the way it was, but they just fucked up.
Yeah.
Their momentum lost them, like, in getting up the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Yeah, you could feel a shift.
Yeah.
They said at halftime some of the players are actually booking tickets to LA for their families.
Ooh, there you go.
That's fucking crazy.
That's your first mistake.
That's why they were so sad at the end, because I spent all that money and now I can't go.
I got the non-refundable.
Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Phyllis has a dealership issue. Phyllis, what's going on?
Hi.
Hi, Phyllis.
I took my car to Chevy dealership in Imperial, Nebraska.
Yeah, what's going on with the dealership? What went wrong, or what's the problem, Phyllis?
Well, they were supposed to fix the rear windshield wiper. They just said the motor was bad.
Yes.
But then that was on Friday. I picked my car up from them. Saturday, my check engine light came on.
Wait, hold on. It was in there for the rear windshield washer, and when you came out, you had a check engine light?
Correct.
Why? Why do you think they did something on purpose?
I can't see any other reason. I took my car this morning.
What is the name of this dealership?
It's in Imperial, Nebraska on Route 6.
What's the name of it?
Let me see if I have it in my phone.
It's okay. I'll just say it's to the dealer. Okay, so hold on a sec. Here's what I want to know.
It's Harshall Road Chevy dealership.
Well, what is
Did you say Marshall?
Harshall, Harchel.
Okay, Harshall, got it.
What was the code? Do we even know?
No, I was at the shop now, and they called me and said that I had no oil in it, no transmission fluid, and no power steering fluid in it.
Okay. Do you normally get this service there?
No, I'm a traveling tech, so I took an assignment in Imperial, Nebraska. I'm not from there.
Okay, Phyllis. How many miles do you have on this car?
I just hit 100,000.
Okay.
But
when was the last time you changed your oil?
Last month. I had my oil change at Co-op in Imperial.
Yeah, they said you had no oil and no transmission fluid.
Correct.
And what do they say? Here's what I need to know. Hold on. What do they say you need now? What do they say you need?
Well, I didn't take it back to there. I drove to Denver the weekend on Saturday, and the check engine light came on then.
Oh, okay. Hold on. So hold on. When did you pick up your car from Harshall? On Friday. Then you drove to Denver, and the check engine light came on. Got it. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Who in Denver checked it?
Tire Plus on Andrews and Chambers. That's where it's at right now.
What do they say you need?
They said that I needed. They said my tires were rust up on the inside. I've got excellent tread.
Here's what I need to know. Hold on. You need to tell me, how much repair do they say you need? What do they say? How much is it going to cost to fix your car?
Oh, $1,200. They said I needed oil change and all my fluids needed to be refilled, and I need all 4 tires.
Well, why would you blame this on Harshal Chevy? Why? With a car with 100,000 miles, that's quite possible.
That I have no oil in my car.
Well,
and
it wouldn't matter. No, here's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. You still need an oil change, and you still need all the maintenance. It doesn't matter whether it had oil or not. What I'm saying is, thank God it didn't seize your car. I mean, they're not saying you need a new engine. They're not saying you need a new transmission. They're saying you just need the fluids done and new tires. So we can have someone help you verify that. But see, it doesn't. I don't even know where it is right now. I just think it doesn't sound like they're trying to rip you off. Now, if you want, we can have somebody look at it or figure it out. I just think, listen, you can't blame that dealer for all of these problems, is what I'm saying. You can't. It sounds more likely that the car needs service. So you're not going to get them to pay for it. I'm Tom Martino. We have more coming up.
See what she wants to do. I suggest it doesn't sound terrible to me.
So also, Rogan's issue goes back further. A few months back, he got the Rona and recovered with natural remedies. No remdesivir stuff or jabs, so he was already in the media.
Yeah. I thought he took a course of ivermectin too at some point.
Who did? Yeah. Course cans can fix it.
Speaking of course cans, I went and did one.
Yeah?
Yeah. What did it show? It showed soft flash. So I went and saw my doctor, and they did some follow-up tests and stuff, and he said there's no need for medicine or anything right now, but change my diet.
Okay.
Yeah. No, how much soft flash? So if the official reading was minor. Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah. Good.
I don't understand what options you're giving Phyllis. She's in Nebraska, so we don't have any.
I thought she said she came to Denver, which is she gets out of place here in Denver. It's not hard.
Oh, so you want to have someone look at it?
No. Here's what I want to tell her. We don't see any evidence of a rip-off. We can't go after that dealer.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that she ought to take it somewhere else that she can trust for and let them do the work. But $1,200 on a car that's 100,000 miles and she needs all those fluids, and tires, that's not a bad price for all that.
Tires, yeah, most of that's tires.
Yeah, that's not a bad deal. Shit, no. Tires are going to be $700 or $800.
Yeah, as I said, most of that is tires.
That's NGA Chair Asa Hutchinson, the governor of Arkansas.
I mean, should you blame them for the tires? You know, most of that is tires, and she can't blame that Chevy dealer for the bad tires.
The U.S. and its allies of provoking the escalation.
It's too hot.
His torture mother and son, convicted of the murder of Ahmaud Arbery, are due in court today for a hearing on a possible.
I left a message with media relations with Americas.
To serve the first 30 years of their life sentences in a
Biden broke out the whole toolkit.
They didn't have any love of customer relations. I thought maybe media would help.
They're laughing at us. Man, they're laughing at us. They're laughing. This is not him.
Yeah, everybody is right now.
Faces possible criminal charges.
Russia, China.
The district attorney in Oswego County in central New York declined.
Now, how will communities of color bear the brunt of climate change?
Oh, simply by being the last to receive any of the whatever that comes out.
What's going to come out?
I don't know.
I can tell you one thing: if food production goes down,
it's right.
People who have less money to spend on food will have a bunch of it.
Can't buy it.
And if utility prices go up, people who are less fortunate
got to get extra blankets if you can't heat your house.
Right. Or else you got to go out and get burning wood in your fireplace.
And if you live in a
Wait,
city,
wait,
there
why,
ain't no
why do you
problem.
equate people of color with less fortunate? See, I didn't equate that. Therefore, I thought, why would people of color make a difference in the climate change problem?
No, they're not making the difference. They're
No, I mean, why would they have a different outcome than anyone else? And then he made the leap. There are people who are disadvantaged. Well, how long is that going to be? How long? Oh, come on. Jesus Christ. I mean, really, how long? How long? Forever. So why? Because they're of color? Why?
No, until systems, processes, and things change. Until there is an equilibrium.
You don't think things have changed a bit? You don't think we're evolving?
We're constantly changing, Tom. We're constantly evolving, Tom. But the evolution is fruitless, so to speak.
Well, you know, you went from slavery to no slavery. I mean, that's a massive change. Seriously, that's a fucking huge change.
What do you mean? Just because you don't call it slavery, but people are still getting screwed over? Mark, you know that
things have changed huge.
Yes, things have changed huge. But
you're saying it's fruitless. It's
yes, my 30-year-old son thinks that his grandchildren, his children, and by the time he has grandchildren, there will be no color discrimination because there's less and less of it in each generation.
There's less and less of it in each generation. Why? Because we constantly commingle, okay?
Absolutely.
No, because we constantly commingle. But at every level of commingling, folks on the extreme start acting more extreme.
I can't comment on that because I don't have an answer for it.
I know nobody ever has an answer for it.
Well, because I don't know if you're right or wrong.
You don't know if I'm right or wrong. Leave your fucking neighborhood.
Then what?
Leave your goddamn neighborhood. Go someplace else. Go to where disadvantaged people are. Okay. And
no, I'm just saying about the extremes. You're saying that the extremes will always be there, right?
I'm saying that people on the extremes are always going to act extreme.
Well, yeah, that's
what I'm saying. And that's where there is no equilibrium. That's where there is no balance.
But there's fewer and fewer people on the extremes.
Yeah, but
with each generation,
and more and more of the people of the extremes are in that class minority that doesn't include the masses. Okay? In other words, if all the power and all the money is continuing to hold all the power and all the money, and all the folks in the middle are still just getting dicked daily, there's no change. And people that can't see that, people that won't see that, okay, are fudging the narrative.
A lot of the super rich people are ultra liberal.
Ultra liberal because they can afford to sound ultra liberal. Look at what goes the fuck on. You find a few folks that reach outside their box and actually do things, okay, that makes sense, and then they become the poster child for rich folks acting right. No, bullshit. They're just the example. They're the extreme. They're that little piece right there that people want to look at and say, well, look at what such and such. There are even black people that help black people that are in that same group.
I think that ultra rich people treat everybody the same. They disdain them.
Exactly.
But not on the basis of color, on the basis of economics.
Exactly. Which is where we started our conversation this morning. This is a class war and not a political war.
Is it a color war or is it a class war?
It is a class war.
Okay.
And politics, race, and religion are the tools and shields and misdirections to keep you from talking about the reality of class.
Afternoons 2 to 4. It's Leland Conway.
Well, I guess I don't know if I'm a racist, but I would rather have a black doctor moving next door to me than 4 white trash.
Wouldn't call you a racist.
I'm a classist.
No. Okay, there you have it.
I agree.
Okay, all right.
I want somebody who can afford to live next to me.
To live next to you.
Oh, not somebody who's going to.
So that's how most people are.
Yeah.
So do I.
Okay, so.
The cunning man, regardless of color. Yeah, that's one thing I like about this.
To the show, I'm Tom Martino. We are here to help you solve problems, answer questions, take complaints. This hour brought to you by RealCBDThatWorks.com. RealCBDThatWorks.com will get you formulations now that can help fight viruses. And it really does, by the way. We're not saying it's a substitute or cure for COVID, but it will definitely impede progress. And it was shown by lab testing from Oregon, University of Oregon. So that's RealCBDThatWorks.com. They have a cosmetic line as well as other pain relieving and anxiety relieving pills and chewables, all with genuine CBD. RealCBDThatWorks.com. So 303-713-TALK. Rentals right now are scarce. People are having a hell of a time. We have a rental expert, Sean Gillian. He's with Denver Real Estate Moguls. He's on our referral list at referrals.com. Before we get into anything legally with the statutes that affect renters, I want to ask something. People said when this COVID moratorium on evictions ends that there would be a ton of evictions because they were just waiting. People were just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And I want to know what happened. I did not sense there was a big wave of evictions after those evictions the eviction freeze was lifted. So did people just make settlements with their landlords or what? What is your sense, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, I think people went different ways. For example, for us, we had one tenant that, during that process and stuff just moved out. We had, about five, six, seven tenants that went on assistance. And of course we helped them with that. And I would imagine most property managers and landlords were able to help their tenants with that and that whole process. And then we did have, we had one person that really took advantage of our owners all the way to the extent that she wouldn't even sign the document so they could get assistance, which is, I don't know why the government did it that way. It's a little backwards, but they couldn't get assistance this whole time. So they ended up losing so far about $30,000. And that's the only client we've had that's happened to. And that was literally because the tenant just took advantage of everything they could have and bucked the system. Besides that, everybody else was on assistance or we negotiated something with them or something like that.
Okay, now let's talk about new rental laws.
You know what I got from that is basically there wasn't as many deadbeats as we might have thought there was going to be.
Well, it goes to picking the right tenants in the first place.
That's a good point.
All right, now let's talk about new rental laws, any that we should know about.
Yeah, there's a lot that, have definitely been implemented already. I think, landlords out there definitely need to know. For example, I can give you a few just to give you an idea.
Yeah, go ahead.
If a renter can't pay their rent the day that it's due, usually the first of the month, and then the landlords have to wait at least 7 calendar days before they charge a late fee now.
Okay.
And it's calendar days, not business days.
Okay.
So landlord does charge late fees in 1 month. Those fees can't total more than either $50 or 5% of the amount owed that month, whichever amount is greater.
Okay.
Let's see. They can't charge late fees more than once per month, but I don't know why that makes a difference. Landlords they can't subtract any late fees from the rent that the renter has paid, so they can't put late fees ahead of the rent these days either. Let's see.
What happens if the late fees? What happens if the late fees continue up to $1,000 or whatever? Doesn't matter. It's just that's how it is.
It's monthly now, so it's still only $50 or 5% of that month. Only.
Right. So
they can continue, but they're not going to be as astronomical as they probably were in the past.
Really what I'm saying is if they acquired a $50 late fee in any given month and they did not take care of it in that month, the next month rolls around, they get another $50 one. Can they tack any fees onto the $50 that's already owed?
No, I don't believe so now. I don't believe you can.
No, it's the cumulative, though. Remember what he's saying. Whatever's owed in that month, it can't be more than five.
It's all based on the month.
It can't be. So if there's a late fee from the previous month owed for that month, and it's carry forward, and you owe the last month and now this month,
be 5% of that.
Yeah, that 5% keeps growing.
It's not.
No,
it's only 5% of the month.
Oh, okay.
I believe. I mean, you
okay,
know,
no.
And again, I need to tell everybody too. I'm not.
No, I understand that. So what else is going on?
So there's other things. Landlords can't increase the rent more than once in a 12-month period.
Okay.
Another big one is renters who lose their case in eviction court. They'll be guaranteed at least 10 days from when the judgment is issued to when the sheriff can forcibly remove renters and their belongings. They also have, so this is important too, renters who respond to the court summons will have, or the renters have a cure period now. So so for example, a landlord can still evict a renter for not paying rent, but if the renter can pay all the outstanding rent any time, so this is at any time before the point of judgment in the eviction court, the landlord or the court have to accept that the rent and let the renter stay in their home. So up until that moment of judgment, they can pay their rent at any time.
Okay,
and
what about if you're evicting? What if you're not evicting for money?
Then I think that's a whole different thing. That would be a whole different thing. Right?
It's not covered, obviously, because you can still evict just to evict.
Right.
For cause, right.
What were the goals of these different changes? Just to give people more time to pay rent? I don't understand what I guess I don't get it.
They are looked at, as, from one side and not the other side. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I don't know. I mean, from my perspective, it's honestly going to cause people to be able to take advantage of the system a little bit more. And, there's some things in there that are good and that probably help, honestly keep landlords a little bit more responsible as well. There is also, I'd imagine you guys know, but, in 2023, I believe it's like buildings with more than 2 units. If an owner owns in a building with more than 2 units, they'll have to be licensed by 2023. And owners who own single-family units, such as houses who rent them out or something like that, they'll all have to be licensed by 2024. I believe this is just in Denver, though. This one, and then you have to have your house inspected before you get the license. The city says inspections would cost them. Says they average about $150 for a single-family home, but it's a lot more than that. It's more like $350, $400 or $500, I would imagine, for an inspection.
I bet a lot of landlords end up moving out of Denver.
Yeah, well, I honestly,
these inspections are going to be
Denver.
How often? I mean, they have to pay per unit to have it inspected, and how often are these inspections?
So you just have to do it once every 4 years. The license has to be renewed once every 4 years, and before you renew the license, they have to have it inspected again. So you have to have it inspected before you get the license.
What are they inspecting for?
You renew it.
What are they inspecting for?
Well, what they're doing it for is they're doing it just to
for revenue.
For one, they can't. Yeah, I was just going to say for revenue because they have a hard time increasing our property taxes in the state. And so that's one of the reasons I would imagine is for revenue. The other reason that they're doing this is so that they can keep track and they know how many rentals are going on and they can keep track of everybody. And then, I would imagine they're coming from the point that, hey, it's for safety for the tenants. Now, it probably will be good for the tenants that happen to have a, somewhat of a slumlord landlord or something like that, and they do exist. But the majority of landlords out there, I'd say 95, 96, 90,
Yeah, of course. No. Most landlords are just regular people trying to make an investment. And they're portrayed as being some evil warlords. But
do these affect these extended stay places, these hotels people find themselves in for months and months?
That's a good question. I don't know about that, actually. I'm not sure about that.
To me, that's one of the biggest traps. I think those are the worst things you can get into.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, you know, there seems to be, like, HOAs, for example, they have no licensing or anything.
But these laws that,
managers or anything.
These laws that you're talking about are state laws. They're not city laws, right? Only the inspection is the Denver law.
This one, all the first ones I was talking about were Colorado laws. This last one with the licensing, I believe, is just Denver.
Yeah, just Denver.
Right.
Now, Airbnb, are they affected? Isn't there something weird about
unless it's your primary residence? So.
Oh, okay. All right. 303-713-8255. Hang on in case people have some questions on rentals coming up or rental rights.
Take a trip back to. I don't think Boulder allows short-term rentals anymore or something. So they can, the municipality can stop them altogether. I don't know how they police it, but they can stop it. I thought Boulder did. And the only reason I say that, I thought Clint got screwed. Remember he had that Airbnb up there.
Especially with his phone. Listen to Welcome to Our Show on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Brought to you by DuckDuckGo. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo.
We're always looking for investments, and Become the Banker is an investment, but it's safe and conservative. It's not crazy. They don't make any crazy promises, and most people can fit it into their portfolio, especially if you're just starting out. Become the Banker is a very simple concept. You get a small life insurance policy, and you overfund it. You pay more than the premium on purpose because the extra money goes into a tax-free account. It grows tax-free. Right? So you use that to borrow from through your life. That's why they call it Become the Banker. Then when you pay it back, you throw more interest on that and pay yourself back more. So you shelter money for eventually a retirement fund. Find out more at becomethebanker.org. If you are looking for countertops, the art of granite. It should be called the art of countertops. By the way, Mitch Fleury and his team will do any countertop of any material, whether it be man-made or natural stone. That's theartofgranite.com, and you can get prices on the phone. Tear out and haul away's free. The bathroom's free when you do the kitchen, and wholesale on all materials. Theartofgranite.com. 303-386-5919.
Hey, if you were affected by those fires or any fires, smoke damage, even if your place didn't burn all the way down or it's not a total loss, smoke damage is incredibly hard to get rid of. It really is. You have to have the right company, and your insurance company is not going to want to pay for the right company. They're not going to want to pay to get it done properly. You need to call Matt at Paragon Services. He got one commercial property up in the Boulder area. Listen to this, $3 million just to get rid of this smoke damage. It's a serious deal. That was a commercial deal, but he also does residential, of course. But you need someone on your side dealing with your insurance company. Call Matt for free advice, 719-726-0020, 719-726-0020.
I should have had Done Right do it. Don't be that person that says this after ordering your remodeling project.
Term rental license in Boulder.
Hi, folks. This is Katie, owner of Done Right.
Whatever that means.
Simply put, we make people happy. Ever since the 80s, to all of your shit by being picky.
Yeah, they want to collect taxes.
Well, there's only one way we'll resurface cabinets. A quarter-inch glued in nails.
My HOA, one of my rentals has a limit on short-term rentals. So you can only have, say there's 100 units there, or whatever, you can only have 5 of those as short-term rentals. And if you first come, first serve. If you miss the boat, you're screwed. Not cool.
Preparation, installation,
perfect location for it.
Wow.
That's something. Yeah.
Done right, did right by you. So, folks, whether it's kitchens, baths, counters, and floors, or even replacement windows and doors, as always, you have our word. We'll treat you right at Done Right. 303-722-2295, 800-362-8370, or drhi.com.
Are you tired of living with chronic pain?
Yeah, and they make you do $500,000 in liability, proof of insurance.
Available here in Denver.
I had to get $300,000 in liability before they would rent my apartment to me.
Professionals at QC Kinetics. Michael Brown here. QC Kinetics.
That was pretty cheap.
What? It was pretty cheap, but still.
You gotta submit a parking plan, a floor plan of your house.
That's Boulder?
This is Boulder.
Shocker. Yeah, we don't have
You got to prove that your property taxes on the property are paid today. You got to have a list of adjacent owners.
Of their approval, right?
Just says a list of adjacent owners, name, physical addresses, mailing addresses, and contact information for owners of all immediately adjacent parcels.
That's insane. That is insane. Totally. So they can reach
Oh,
out
and the
to
floor plan's got to show where every fire detector, carbon monoxide detector, sleeping rooms, egress windows.
Visit the library. Sorry, ma'am. We're looking for a book titled Liberty Mutual Customizes Your Car Insurance so you only pay for
Oh,
what you
listen to this one. This is interesting. It's got to be the applicant must demonstrate that the dwelling unit is the property owner's primary residence. This is crazy.
Wait, so you can only rent out your primary residence?
I don't know. That's what just threw me off on the whole damn thing.
CD on balances of $500 or more.
Doesn't that defeat the purpose?
1% APY on a 24-month CD. To get that higher rate, you typically need to be in a longer term.
Yeah, this is licensing of short-term dwelling units.
Licensing of short-term dwelling.
Well, and vacation rentals.
Online in minutes. Membership is required.
Within the unincorporated area of Boulder County.
Belco. Banking for everyone. This report is sponsored by the Broadmoor.
One more day, temperatures in the upper 50s will start with sunshine. More clouds moving in this afternoon with gusty winds, a high wind warning in our foothills. I'm Box 31 10-point weather team meteorologist Kylie Rose.
Make their home your getaway. As a token of their appreciation, the Broadmoor is extending exclusive rates to their Colorado neighbors for the months of January and February with their Colorado Appreciation Offer. It's all here, just a short drive away. Visit Broadmoor.com today. 630 KHOW.
Proof of primary residence.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Ray, what is your problem with the car wash, man? What's going on?
Hi, Tom.
Hey, Ray, what's happening?
Well, I ran my Dodge Charger through this car wash. I've been a member there since they opened up about a year ago, and it broke the spoiler off my car, which is a factory spoiler. It's not a aftermarket spoiler. Called the manager over. She looked at it, took pictures, said she'd get with her corporate office.
Man, they almost never take responsibility. What kind of car wash? Was it the ones with the hanging rags, the rolling brushes,
Yeah, right.
hanging rags?
Yep.
And
so they said they'd check their cameras and stuff like that, and evidently they proved through their cameras that their car wash did damage my car, because that's not the excuse they gave.
How did it? Did it get caught or what?
No, it just, I heard it, and I wish I could find it on my dash cam, because I actually drive for Uber, so I have a dash cam that records inside the car. And I heard a big pop when the big overhead roller went over my spoiler. But here's the thing. This car's been through this car wash almost every day for almost a year, and it's never damaged my car.
Yeah, all it takes is a fiber to get, like are they the little fibers or big ones?
They're the little ones on the rollers. They have the big hanging.
Yep. What happens is they get caught in a crack or crevice and then yank it up. Did it do a lot of damage?
It broke the right side completely off. It didn't hang up on like where it bolts the car or anything. It just popped it. And,
how much is it going to cost to get fixed?
About, by the time I haven't had a chance to get to the body shop yet, but I'm imagining, because it's a paint to match and everything, it's going to be probably around $500.
Oh, way more than that, bro. I don't think you get anything done for $500. I mean, seriously. Geez, you got to get an estimate. Do they refuse to take responsibility?
They said, and then, well, here's another thing. So before I got home, because I was out driving for Uber, I told my granddaughter to go wash the car. So she took my 97 Suburban later that afternoon through the car, and it ripped the left outside door mirror off.
Wait a minute. You just got finished destroying one car, and you've sent another one there?
Well, no, I just told my daughter to go wash the car. She doesn't have a membership there. But, I thought they were, going to take care of it. Naturally, the manager and everything was nice.
Well, what do they say now?
Yeah,
what do they say now? No?
Well, they're saying that my car's too old and that their insurance won't cover it because my cars are too old.
How old is it?
My Dodge Charger is a 2009, and my Suburban's a 1997.
They won't. I mean, the mirror coming off on that Suburban's a stretch. Geez, I don't really. I mean, really, what will it cost you? You got to find out what it's going to cost to fix, and then we contact them. I don't know what we do before that. We don't have anything to talk to them about. They're simply saying it's not their problem.
Well, no, they're saying their insurance company won't pay for it, and I'm like,
well, who cares? You're not asking about their insurance company. You're asking about them.
Right. Why won't? Yeah. So what does your insurance company have to do with the fact that your machine damaged my car?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Even if they say, okay, well then, if your insurance won't pay for it, you still acknowledge it. You owe it, right?
Right.
I mean,
they said there's nothing they can do.
Well, there's nothing they can do to get their insurance to pay. There's certainly something they can do to pay if they know what it is they're committing to, but they don't. That's where you have to come in with a finite number. A lot of people don't like talking about stuff because they don't know how much it'll take for it to go away. What you want to do is make it easy for it to go away. But again, you got to be sure that this wasn't old and cracked or whatever.
No. Let me give you a little background on my car. Yeah, it's a 2009 Dodge Charger, but I'm a retired auto broker. All right.
Yeah.
And I've owned this car since it was 5 years old and had 50,000 miles on it. And because I started driving for Uber 3 years ago, because I semi-retired, I've got 300,000 miles on this car, and it looks like brand new. Every time somebody gets in my car, they cannot believe that my car is not a 2015 or 2016. My car is impeccable. That's why I'm so upset about it.
Okay. Well, I don't know why it's been through there several times, and then the last time it broke. I don't know why.
That's my point. It's probably been through there. It's probably been through there over 150 times.
Yeah, but man,
almost daily.
But that doesn't make your case, in my opinion. It hurts it.
Okay.
You see, in my opinion, when you say that, it says this car wash is flawless. The car, something changed.
Yeah, well, I look at it differently because he said then, that same day, he sent another car to the same car wash, and it damaged that car. That's pretty odd.
And then when I was talking to the manager, the car wash broke down, and like the brushes and stuff, they sent a car through it that had a bike rack on the back of it, and the brush.
What do the rules say? What do the rules say when you drive in? Like the car wash we go to all the time. You know, there's different things they try to say they will have no coverage of. Does yours have that?
Antennas and aftermarket parts is basically what mine says.
Yeah, that's what ours says, and neither of these were aftermarket in your case. So.
You know, there's always going to be. I want to get. You got to get an estimate and get us some pictures. That's what you have to do. Get back to us, Suze. Tell them how to get those pics to us. I want them to take pics and then get an estimate and get back to us. Then we'll have something meaty at least to approach the car wash about.
Yeah, I never heard anything like that. Car's too old to be covered. That's insane. Imagine if any insurance could say that.
I'm not sure if that's what they meant. I think they meant that
old and broken?
Yeah.
Oh.
Or not in good condition, or
I thought he meant because it was a 1990 something.
It was an 09. It was an 09. 303-713-TALK. We're going to be back with our rental expert and more coming up.
1997.
Yeah.
The mirror one.
Yeah. And he said that was too old. Imagine if you hit someone in an older car and your insurance told them, hey, your car's too old.
Wait, we had a guy, listen to this, parked outside. This is the craziest part. He's parked outside his house. A drunk driver smashes into it, and he goes to their insurance company and says, what are you going to do about my car? They says, well, we're totaling it because it was an old car. So they were going to total it for like, I think, and
$1,000,
whatever. So he says, but I want the car, I can fix it. You just sideswipe it. They said, because it's old, they have to total it. He said, but I want to keep it.
And they said, basically, well, okay, the $1,000 we were going to give you, we're going to charge you.
That's your buyback.
So, in other words, that's like them coming and saying to you, your car's damaged. You don't get any money, but you get to keep it. You think about how crazy that is.
You know, sometimes people need criminal defense. Yes, it's true. No one is perfect. Not everything is perfect, especially with DUIs. So many people try to calculate, you know, what they're going to drink and maybe get safe, and they're not. Here's the bottom line. If ever you're in trouble, the stupidest thing to do is to try to find an attorney under pressure and do your shopping. Joe Lazzara has been with me for years. You can trust him. First and foremost, try to avoid DUIs at all costs. Designated driver, Uber, Lyft, taxis, whatever you need. If you're charged, maybe you did something stupid, maybe you're falsely accused, whatever it is, don't try to figure it out yourself. Joe Lazzara. He does flat rates for whatever he does for you, and he'll quote them up front, and he does free initial consultations. 303-429-6200. 303-429-6200. Joe Lazzara. American Restoration. That's easy to remember. Well, I want you to remember it. Because if you're in trouble with mold, fire, flood, maybe unattended death, or maybe some errant tenant put a meth lab in there, whatever it is, you need people with the right certifications that knows how to remediate all of this stuff. You know, like flood. Within hours, they can do that with special equipment to get rid of the toxic molds and asbestos and more. All the EPA certifications. Turnkey solutions, too, for rebuilding if you want them to, but they'll do as little or as much as you want. You can trust this team, and unfortunately, you need to trust them because the other ones in this field, it's just a terrible field. And chances are, if you pick up a phone, you're going to be ripped off. So use American Restoration, and they know how to work with your insurance as well. 8337-AMREST. That's online at amrest247.com.
How long will this
market last? What will the next recession? Now, he could have taken the $1,000 though.
Visit my website now.
Yeah, I know, but if he wanted to keep his car, they're saying, okay, guess what? We destroyed your car, but you get to keep it. I mean, it just doesn't make any fucking sense.
Is this valid to bring up?
Hey, Sue, so in reference to these new laws that are changing for landlords, could you just have something written in the contract up front that says, hey, if you don't pay your rent, by such and such terms or whatever, that per this clause, that the contract will be deemed invalid, number one, and number two, you will be deemed
I don't know if that's a good question.
And then maybe have a small section there to also say something along the lines that any violations, including not paying rent, would deem you as an unfit renter. So that way, when they go forward.
I don't know how to phrase that on the air for you.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Here's the problem with contracts cannot waive rights. Not those kinds of rights. I mean, in other words, otherwise, you could say, "Don't pay me back the money. You're my slave." I mean,
yeah.
You can't fucking do that. Or I don't have to go through the eviction process, or I don't have to go through a foreclosure process. You agree to move out in 2 days. You can't just tell people shit like that. Or you agree to move out of the country. I mean,
all right.
I mean, but we can talk about it.
If you want to bring it up.
I think it's more legal. He's more of a, like, what should the landlord do in this situation and that, but we can talk about it.
Yeah. I think he has properties or something.
Yeah,
I don't really know. Although
I did loan a guy money one time, and I
paid you back, Tom.
And I took a quitclaim deed and didn't file it. And the quitclaim deed was for the amount he owed me. And it was a bill of sale for buying his house. And I said, you pay me, here we are. So he didn't pay me. And I filed it, and I owned it. I didn't have to go through foreclosure or anything, because he signed it over to me for that amount of money.
So what did you do with the house? Did you sell it?
Back to him.
activity would you enjoy if your knees didn't hurt?
For the amount, we were a little bit over.
Well, for what he owed me, for the had interest, you know. I didn't even rake him over the coals. Yeah. And you could have. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's. I don't know if it was altogether. I don't know. It could have been if he would have said, "Well, that's bypassing whatever." I don't know, because really the loan wasn't on the house. It wasn't a deed of trust, so it wasn't a foreclosure. It was a personal loan. Okay? But the deed said that if he doesn't take the payment back by a certain date, that if he doesn't, if he doesn't give me my money back by a certain date, I bought his house. So really, if you think about it, it's kind of cool. He took a deposit, and he didn't pay me. He didn't give it back to me, so he agreed to sell his house for that. Wow.
Yeah, I lent the buddy $50 grand, and he gave me the title to 2 of his antique cars that I kept, and he paid me every month for that paper. I had the title to his 2 cars, which I then signed back to him. What?
My dad used to do that a lot.
Hi, Tom Martino, your
Troubleshooter 303-713-TALK. We have plenty of time for calls. If you have a problem, question, or complaint, you want to get something off your chest, you can do that on this show. It's the only show that talks about the everyday aches and pains, those things that tick us off and those things that make us tick. We have a lot going on. Now, as far as Electra, when she fell through the ceiling, she was injured, went to the emergency room, paid one bill, didn't pay another because she never got it. It went to the wrong address. That's not uncommon. Medical bills, they will go for judgment. But the point is that now they're willing to work with her, but she's trying to get out of the bill altogether. You can't. Even if it went to a wrong address, you don't get out of it simply because you didn't get it. And then Phyllis was a traveling tech. This was a weird one. She took her car to a Chevy dealer in Imperial, Nebraska for a rear windshield wiper repair. Then she drove to Denver, but she's blaming everything that went wrong with that car. When she got to Denver, there was no oil, no transmission fluid, no coolant, and what else? Bad tires. I mean, if Harshal Chevy was that stupid to drain all those fluids, how'd they wear out her tires? I don't think you can blame that dealer for everything that went wrong with your car. The good news is you didn't seize your engine, and they just need $1,200 for service to get it up and running again. And that includes new tires. So, I mean, I don't think that's a bad idea and a bad thing. I don't think she was getting screwed. You know, there's something called the, it's a coincidence or unlikely coincidence or suspicious coincidence or what else? You know, where something happens at the same time. Like somebody comes to your house to fix something and something else breaks. God, have you guys as plumbers, we have 2 plumbers in from the referral that's been sitting here. We have Nate Padilla, he's the owner of Prime Plumbing and Heating. And then we have Chris Parker out of Colorado Springs. He's father-daughter plumbing and drain. Have you ever gone to a house? I remember one plumber went to a house to do something. I forget what it was. He did something to the water heater. And then they were blamed for something that happened weeks later on the outdoor spigot. If you claim it, if you touch it, you claim it. That's a lot of times with automobiles. Have you ever had stuff? Does that ever happen with you guys in the plumbing biz where you were just in the vicinity and something happened and you were blamed for it? Give me an idea of something.
Yeah, Tom, we had one just a couple weeks ago. Actually, one of our guys was out doing a water heater for a customer, and got a call back about 3 or 4 days later that their drain was clogged.
A water heater and the drain's clogged?
Yeah.
And they blamed you for it, or they tried to make a connection?
They didn't necessarily come right out and blame us, but they implied that it was our fault.
Wow, that's crazy. See, that's what I'm talking about. Well, with cars, man, when you get an older car in and start doing repairs, and there's a cascade of failures, You touch it, you own it. That's what happens to some. Let's talk now to our rental expert, our real estate management expert, Sean Gillian with Denver Real Estate Moguls. Sean, what's the biggest mistake do-it-yourself landlords do?
Probably not checking references of tenants.
So is that part of the service you do? Do you check references?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So
and credit checks and all of that. Somebody called in and said, it's really difficult to rent nowadays, and he proposed some kind of an organization that would guarantee rent for people that don't make 3 times the amount. Why has it become you have to make 3 times the amount of rent? Has it always been that way, Sean?
No, that's just the policy of some companies. That's not our policy. We just look at the whole overall package. Plus, if we need to, we have a separate system now. We can go in and actually, you have to get permission from the tenants, but we can go in and check the bank accounts and see exactly what's going on financially as well. That's a new system we've added since COVID. But in general, we don't have you're automatically disqual. We look at the overall picture. We try to pre-qualify people before they even fill out the application. And
that's good.
Money.
What about
you got to have 3 times the amount generally, though, right, for rent? Isn't that pretty standard?
Yeah, it's pretty standard.
But not 3 times the income, he says, not necessarily. That's what he said.
What do you mean, 3 times the income?
Okay. If your rent's $1,000, you have to make $3,000 a month.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, I know, but he said they don't necessarily do that. They have other things too they look at. So, Sean.
Yeah, I would say that is the standard, like Mark's saying, but yeah, we don't necessarily just look
I got that.
And then be like,
no, I understand. But
it is important though.
Yeah, of course it is. Income, credit, all of that's important. So when it comes to checking people out, then you pretty much pre-qualify them before you actually do the application then, so you don't waste their time.
Yeah, and as long as they're pretty close to what they tell us, most people have an idea of what their credit score is, or if whether they have animals and things like that.
Have you ever done auto drafting where people, is that a benefit? Do landlords ever do that? Because I think auto drafts or ACHs set up to the landlord might give them some comfort, no?
Well, we do ACHs. All of ours are ACHs.
They're automatic, meaning
yes.
They don't have, the tenant does not have to institute it. It's automatically drafted every month?
Correct.
See, that's a good system.
Can you guys, I'm just curious on this, if I had a rental and I had you guys managing it for me, can I actually, with the tenant knowing, of course, have cameras either in the house or even, say, outside the house?
Outside the house, I don't think it'd be a problem at all. Inside the house,
yeah, it'd be a little weird.
I think that would be a major
the laws say that you get peaceful, private. Peaceful, private enjoyment.
Knowing, but what tenant would allow that? So it doesn't matter.
Only in the horror movies I've seen.
Would actually want
that.
I
know they find a camera somewhere.
I've seen some horror movies. I saw one about people
It sounds like Mark's creating a horror movie here.
Yeah, I know. There was one of Vacation. I just watched it the other night on Netflix.
I saw it.
Where the guy, the Italian,
in the shower.
And there was an Italian guy renting out a villa. Would have to be an Italian, wouldn't it? Anyway, he's renting out a villa to this young married couple and spies on the women. Oh, God, it was just... Man, what a crazy movie. Anyway, hold on. We got more coming up.
That's why I'm terrified of Airbnbs, man. I have no idea what's going on.
Did you guys ever see that show about that guy that owned the hotel out there on Colfax? And he had cameras in there for like decades and decades.
A show? Was
it
like a...
It was on Netflix.
Oh, so it wasn't real?
No, it was
a true story. A documentary?
A documentary.
I think I have seen that.
You know what I'm talking
and
about.
And he had his cameras for what reason?
To spy on people. He was a creeper, man. He was watching people.
Let me look it up. In his apartment house?
No, it was a hotel. A motel. Colfax Motel.
Shit.
So there's some
probably turning tricks and shit.
Oh yeah, there was some stuff going on in there.
Watching it all.
Your old buddy, the sheriff, was probably in there a few times. Sullivan.
Oh, Sullivan, yeah, Rockwell County, right?
That sounds like his stomping ground.
Joe, an American. Just tell me, bro.
I remember reading the news story. I don't know if I actually saw the movie.
Let's talk about Sheridan
Auto Tech and Uncle Kevin. People say, why do you call him Uncle? Well, it's kind of a joke because what I say is he treats his people like family. He really does. He's such a good guy, honest, and he's been there a long time, has experience and knowledge, everything you want in an auto tech facility. What I really love truly, though, is the electrical division. He bought out Lakewood Auto Electrics, and he has some of the techs, and they do electric work, so that's really a good thing. Sheridan Auto Tech for maintenance, repairs, and electrical issues on Colfax and Lakewood, on Havana and Aurora. Give them a call, 303-455-7242. That's 455-7242. SheridanAutotech.com. Selling a home is so easy, everyone says, but you know, even those homes that supposedly sell in a couple hours, they always involve loans and closings and inspections and all kinds of stuff. So it doesn't really take just a few hours. You have to wait months for it to really close. But if you go to these home buying services, you could get bought out right then, that day, that week. Try Homevestors. They're one of them that we tout because they're good people. They bought about 3,500 homes in Denver. Now, they may or may not buy yours. You might not like the price. You may love the price. You may be one of these people who don't want to do any repairs, any inspections, any loan approvals. You just want to get paid and get out of town. Homevestors can do that. Give them a try. You have nothing to lose. 800-44-BUYER. 800-44-BUYER.
With a new year comes new ways to save big. Belco Credit Union is offering 1% APY on a 24-month CD on balances of $500.
It's a movie, but it's based off of a real deal.
It's a movie. Yeah. Okay, good.
The other one that I
don't like documentaries that much. I like some of them.
The Rental. That's on Netflix right now. That's the one I thought you were talking about.
Maybe it is.
Each shower head had a camera.
It wasn't that.
And they rented it to a group of, 20-somethings.
Of course.
And there was also murder and shit, too. It was far beyond Boyer.
The Rental. I wonder how many
times. So, I accidentally left my camera on in my house when we were selling it, and people were talking about what to offer me.
Right. I know. Yeah, you told me that. Well, it wouldn't have to be accidental, Mark, because it's still your property. One party consent here. Yeah.
But it was pretty good to know how far they'd go up and where they were going to start.
Absolutely, man.
Insider trading.
Let's tell them. Let's tell them no.
Let's tell them no. We know they can go up another 10.
We got to get this house. We need this house.
Yeah. No matter what. I'll get it for you, honey.
Yeah, another 15.
Yep.
You want to buy that pool table downstairs, don't you?
You like that pool table? I like that pool table.
Yeah.
I did. We made a deal. We had a bunch of offers. It was crazy. Bunch of offers. And then I said, well, Frank, I don't feel like moving that pool table or that theater system downstairs. So I want another $15,000 for the furniture and shit down, so I want to move it. So whoever's willing to buy all that shit, out of the good offers we already picked.
Yeah.
So then we had people agree to buy it. And then at that point I go, holy shit, man, I really am holding the cards here. People are just buying shit.
Yeah.
So they couldn't find homes back then.
Still can't.
Yeah, it's probably even worse now.
It's worse now, yeah.
That was 6 years ago.
Yeah. We're doing some new construction work for this new builder that just moved from California here to Denver, Thomas James Homes. You've probably heard of those guys.
I don't think I have.
They're the nation's largest infill builder. They're huge.
Largest what?
Infill.
What does that mean?
They scrape them and build them.
They take existing
I got you.
Yeah.
They're not like Lennar. They're not building neighborhoods.
No. They go into the hot neighborhoods, buy them, and build them. But these guys, I don't know how they're coming up with their deals, but they're closing up to 40 deals a month.
Isn't that regentrification?
That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
But they're going into neighborhoods that have already been gentrified, so they're just buying up whatever they possibly
What's
can.
left.
Getting what's left.
Yeah.
Okay. The holdouts.
They're paying a fortune for these lots.
They got nothing.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Mark, what's going on, Mark?
Hello, Tom. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing good, man. What can we do for you?
Hey, look, I'm looking for some advice or an opinion. I'm 57 years old, and I have never gone to a dealership and bought a car. Just lived kind of a rough life, but now I'm kind of in a place where I could. So,
what kind of car do you want, new or used?
I want a new car specifically, and I know it's not a good time to buy cars.
Yeah, it's a horrible time, unfortunately. But we can give you some general advice. Some general advice is truly to shop without going there first. Know the product, because you have price, product, and service, really. And that's really all you have, okay? Now, you don't have to worry about service. You can always go somewhere else for service. But you want to make sure it can be serviced and you're not having a shortage of parts, or it's not a model that's going to be discontinued. And then price and product. I mean, is the product sound? And then the price. But right now, you're right. It's not a great time to buy. So you have to simply... when you go to dealerships, you simply have your parameters in mind. And if you can't find it, you don't do it.
Man, you should
have
really
your finance.
wait if you can.
Yeah, wait if you can. You should also have your financing arranged and approved. If they want to try to beat it, that's great. But if you need financing, get your own outside financing first at the lowest rate possible. If they want to try to beat it, they have to beat it, not just in payment, but in terms, because so many things can be couched into a lower payment but longer term.
That's so generic too, because a lot of times you don't get that $3,000 or $4,000 dealer incentive if you don't use their financing.
Yeah, well, it's all in the math.
Hey, Tom,
it's math.
Is it ever reasonable to get the Consumer Reports Auto Edition and see what their
nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
They're pretty unbiased, aren't they?
Yeah, they about 98% of the time, I think. There were times they've had it out for certain brands. What they did to that Suzuki Sidekick, I think, was a little disingenuous. I had to do with an employee there, but in any case.
So I have a more specific part of this question. I am okay to be patient, and I have a very specific car that I want to find, and I can't find it in town. So what I was wondering, I've heard you talk about, like, pre-ordering a car or something like that. What is...
Okay, you do a better deal when you do that. If you go to a dealer and say, hey, I'd like to order a car, and it's outside their allotment, or they have them spoken for and they can get an extra one in there, you can get a good deal. Now, you're not going to get steals like you used to. But what kind of car are you looking for?
To be specific, it'll be a brand new, so if it were now, which it's not going to be.
What kind?
But a brand new Toyota Camry TRD.
Turd?
TRD?
Yeah, a Camry TRD, yes, sir.
Oh, a CRD.
No, T is in Tom.
Oh, T. So it's turd.
That's the worst name I ever heard. A Camry turd.
Camry.
What's special about the Camry turd?
The TRD, it's Toyota Racing. It's real sporty, and it's probably the fastest one they have.
Oh, my God, it really looks good. Holy crap.
Can JFR try and find one for him?
Yeah, you can go to like a broker, and they can try to source cars for you. They're good people. Now, listen, brokers, okay, I was asking him about a car. He was able to get me a good deal on a car that I didn't think was possible. And when I say a good deal, well, it was invoice. But, I mean, not invoice, a sticker. But that, I mean, at the time I was looking, I didn't get it. But for what I could get for my car and the sticker, it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad deal. So you may want to try that route. I mean, JFR Cars are on a referral list. They have a lot and stuff, but he might be able to source one for you. You know, no matter how hot cars are, there might be areas in the country where they're not so hot, and they can do a dealer trade.
Oh, that wouldn't be bad. If I were to go try and order one, is that going to be kind of a set-in-stone price?
Well, that depends. Well, listen, for sure it's a set-in-stone price on what they pay. They get the holdback, so they're going to make an automatic 3% probably on that. But so what they want above that is how you catch them. If they've already sold them, a bunch of them, if they can sell everyone that comes in, they may not do it. If it's one where they're just going to make some extra money, they might just cut you a deal.
You can't just buy them right from the manufacturer when you have them built like that. You have to go through
You have to go through a dealer. That's their franchise agreement. But so why don't you try a couple dealers and see what they do on orders? Some cars can't be ordered, by the way. Did you check to see?
Okay.
Did you check to see that this could be ordered?
I have not. I wouldn't know how to do that. So I've just looked around and see if there was any in the neighborhood, and I don't find any anywhere. So
I would say, man, I don't know. When do you think the car business is going to loosen up?
About a year. Who died, by the way?
What do you mean? Who died?
Well, he's never bought a new car for 57 years. He must have come into money.
Uh-oh. Is that true?
No, I just lived a hard party life, let's just say, and I've been in better shape for the past 5 years.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear. What do you do for a living?
I am a truck driver.
Okay. All right.
Listen to you every day.
Thank you, man. Listen, I'm serious. If you get some deals, call JFR Cars. Just see if they can source one. Then call a few dealers and let us know what you find. I'm Tom Martino. I want to thank Prime Plumbing and Heating for being here. They're here in Denver, 720-542-8153. And, of course, I want to thank Chris Parker, father-daughter. I love that, father-daughter plumbing and drain down in Colorado Springs, 719-602-8969.
Follow Tom Martino at Real Tom Martino.